G'day everyone and welcome back to LCK Challenger 2023 Summer. I'm Atlas, this is Chronicler. We're up to our second best of 3 of the day. So far, 3 for 3, hoping that that trend continues so that we can spend as much time here as possible. That 10-hour mark is mere moments away.
Yeah, it's only
6.5 hours away.
More.
And so therefore, if we were to break it down to, 3.5 hours until, as our first match, is concluding. And so 3.5 hours and then add that 2 more times.
Easy.
Then that's like 10.5 hours.
I remember.
Right?
That was one of my most iconic casting moments, was sitting here with chat, counting down the 10-hour mark after we got sponged.
Yeah.
And you know what?
That was your
in this
casting
series.
moment. I don't think I was there.
So, what is your opinion on the philosophical conundrum of the U? Because I don't. There was a version of you there. I don't know if it's the U.
And also the definition of there is another one.
Also, very true. Because the version that's sitting beside me right now was not there, but neither was me.
No.
So maybe the us from
or
6 hours into the future.
Yeah. No. It's
that could be who were there.
It's all very interesting. Trying to figure it out and how it all works. But do you know what is very straightforward? DK versus DRX.
Amazing.
That's it. That's the one. This is the matchup. This is the excitement. This is the level that we're looking for. DRX have been performing better here in Challenger. DK not so much. Suffering at the hands of Humble Life Esports, who have been very good. But now the secret weapon is in for D+ Kia.
You guys aren't ready.
You guys are not prepared.
If you thought that Frog or Sponge were good names, just wait until you see the roster. We're not going to give it away. And I think that there are 2 sides to this. I think D+ very clearly is playing worse than they were, but I also think that the fact that the roster has lost, the T1 loss obviously was really rough, but also involved Bible playing like 12 hours after his LCK match.
Yeah.
Right? And then Humble Life is just a great team. I think previously D+ were on a level where they were unmatched by anyone else. That is not the case anymore, and we'll see. Because I think DRX, particularly with Docdom on the roster, has an angle. But there he is.
The Thumb!
The Thumb!
Have you watched any of the Thumb movies?
I have. This is one of the very rare. This is not a bit, chat. I have zero idea if you're serious or not. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. So there was Thumb Wars. There's Thumbtanic, which is the Titanic version. There is what is it? Bat Thumb. Bat Thumb's one of my favorites.
So this is all like parodies of
done with faces, faces overlaid over thumbs, and so the thumbs are actually the actors.
So that's this Thumb.
Yeah, and Thumb may be an actor from one of these.
I mean, we couldn't possibly know one way or another.
And it is the Thumb versus the Frog. That's what's incredible about this.
Thumb was one, I mean, not really support. But anyway, they're on the same map. What I want to highlight is the fact that Thumb and everyone, that's a little bit older, as Lucid fans, very based.
Absolutely.
You know you're out there.
Well, I mean, Lucid fans are kind of a thing of the past. It's Thumb fans that I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm down with that. I just hope you're ready for what Thumb is about to bring.
I don't even think that, I don't think any of us are ready. I think you can think that you're ready, and you'd be wrong. Because
it's Thumb.
The Thumb strikes sometimes, and it's very similar to the Frog or the Sponge.
And maybe later, the Thumb strikes back.
Yeah?
And then Return of the Thumb.
Oh, man, now you're getting it. They only did A New Hope. Spoiler alert, Darth Thumb, or Thumb Vader, whichever one he was, was actually Luke's mother.
Spoilers?
Yeah, Luke's mother.
In my challengers?
Yeah, tells Luke to go clean his room.
Where is Beryl? Beryl is meditating in the forest, trying to figure out why Maokai support isn't working for him, but it is for other people. Maybe Ivern comes up at some point as well. We'll see. No, but Lucid obviously has been incredible. But Docdom, we don't really know what is going on, right, with his health in particular. We don't know, because I think...
He's obviously feeling a bit better if he's playing.
I agree that he's doing a lot better, but I also think that given the state of the DRX main team, if he was feeling fully recovered, I would still, you know, feel like playing him might be the call, particularly because Paddock has been having a tough time. But it might just be a coaching decision, right? And it's not really for us to
for those that are speculating, people are speculating on Pleta at the moment. Pleta used to be called Becker. He used to be a support. He then role swapped to AD carry and got MVP of the split, which was very impressive.
Yep.
Also played in the LCK and picked up a POG. And is now switched back to support.
It's still wild that DRX somehow got 2 duck-named AD carries. Very, very funny. As we take a look here at the stats, Poolbay and Seta. Poolbay, I think, really having a bit of a downturn in his recent play, but we saw this in spring as well, and then at the end of spring, he, again, started dunking on people. Seta, though, has been, to me, at his highest, one of the most impressive players in Challengers. I don't think he really is able to consistently perform that level, but there's been so many individual plays where I'm just looking and going, man, this guy is crazy. And I think the mid matchup definitely really important today. Although I think Poolbay Satap, I'm like leaning Satap. But when
it depends what day it is. Because Poolbay,
also true.
He can be amazing. He can be terrible. You just never know.
But it is a weighted coin because one of the teams has Lucid. And Lucid, for all of D+'s troubles, Lucid is still the best individual player in the whole league, which...
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
And they've had some issues towards the bottom side, as you mentioned. You know, Bible coming in after just playing in the LCK was very unfortunate because they had some call-up, call-down issues and not getting things sorted out, realizing the Bible had to play, and then he had absolutely zero notice and then had to step into the role. So yeah, there are definitely caveats, but we'll see how D+ are going to do now that they've had a fair bit of time to get things sorted out and put exactly where they want. Thumb is an interesting prospect. He's fresh up from Academy, but did look impressive down there as well. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to achieve here as we are through the bans already. Ivan, Poppy, and Maokai all taken away as I think Vladimir first because probably coming in. Nico and LeBlanc and the Sejuani. So some interesting double tree bans away from Sponge.
So the jungle bans to Sponge I think are a good call. Mid jungle to me is one of the most important things to get set well against DRX and D+, both, honestly. And I'm pretty sure that D+ is going to be looking for a Lee angle if it is not taken away or immediately.
True.
I do have to say, though, the bans from DRX, a little bit so-so. I really don't think the LeBlanc is still 100% ban-worthy, particularly with Tristana being a very suitable answer into it. The Nico, I'm a little bit more ambivalent about because, you know, yes, she got nerfed, but I think the pick still has a lot of value. And also, I think it's easy to forget, but Nico is just a nuisance to play into, particularly in pro play. Like,
I think it's actually a Q. It just does too much damage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also that. Yeah. Wait.
You mean it's a nuisance to play into just because you can transform into things?
Yeah,
and
because
be
of the always having to try and figure out how much minions are in the wave, and like, can you check your flags? More that's.
I think
that
it's
part.
A nuisance because the laning power is just
also
too high
obnoxious.
outside of the ultimate.
Come on, Lucid, don't try to flex a Viego on us.
Yeah,
we know.
Obviously,
we
it's
know.
Gonna be the lead. And is it just like they could play Lee Sin Ahri and go back to something that worked? And that looks like what Poolbay wants to do here. But equally, Vi pairs up very well with Annie. And so Satab can go towards that. And so we're going to have a very severe mid-jungle off in this game. And that's exactly what we want. Exactly.
It's funny because normally we have to explain to people why we are casting challengers the way we do. And now we have to explain to the challenger fans
that's a rumble.
Why we are actually casting the game, which is a fun flip.
Yeah, that's true.
This is just genuinely a great match that I really, I'm really excited about. The rumble is very surprising here. Is blind, so you have some ability to maybe throw some bans towards the top side of the map.
Why pick Rumble and ban Jax?
I don't know.
If they ban Jax Renekton here, I'm going to be so confused.
Yeah, so the Jax, I'm like, maybe, because I think that the 2v2 can feel really rough. But Renekton, Renekton should not be banned away here. I would prefer for not to have happen. We'll see.
Heavily perplexing.
Also, this is pre-Lissandra buff. But I kind of hope that we see the Lissandra, because I think Vi Lissandra is very obnoxious to play into. You know, you have Tristana, you flex it towards the bot lane, because the Vi and Tristana 2v2 is not as good as Lee and Ahri, I'm willing to say. There is the Renekton man. I do not understand. Now, I have been pretty...
Like, why? Oh, wait.
So,
Satab's playing Rumble.
well, that's... Yeah, because I do think that...
Wait, no. Hang on.
Yeah,
because it's Tristana bot.
Yeah, Tristana bot for Dogdom. Because I do think that DRX, generally, not always, as with any Gen.G, but generally have been one of the teams where drafts often make sense to me by the end of it. And they don't always stick the landing, but I would be very surprised if it ends up being the Rumble top here. I mean, it could still happen.
I do think that like Ahri is difficult for Rumble to play into because you can space him pretty effectively. The Equalizer you can move out of very easily. Like there are a few things that make it an odd choice.
Yeah.
But that would explain the ban.
Who is farmed? The Kellen just got demoted from. So it's not about the plague. I think Kellen, when it comes to like pure laning, is better than anyone in challengers. But it's more so what Bible did for this team. I guess the read from D+ is that Fum can do it better than Kellen. Because for all his strengths, Kellen is not the guy that's going to lead the team to victory, which is the same reason why...
I don't think that that's the case. I actually, I don't think that this has anything to do with whether they think Kellen will be good enough to challenge her. It's just they want Kellen and Bible to split time in the main team, and they don't want to tire them both out.
Yeah.
And so you need Thumb to be called up so that you don't have to split responsibility for the main roster.
That's a good
point.
I
think that that makes a lot of sense.
I agree. So we now have guaranteed that it is just going to be Rumble versus Cassante. Don't love that, because I think the Rumble actually does really well into Cassante. The gank setup is really good, so maybe that will be enough. And you do kind of need frontline, but with the changes in particular, I think, and the fact that he usually goes demonic first, I think Rumble into tanks is going to be very effective. As Fum, this is a Bible special, picks up the Leona here. And this gives D+ an incredible amount of backline threat. But looking at the backline of DRX, there is a lot of innate safety here, right? And Xayah Braum, laning phase, I'm not going to be super excited about. Xayah is not that great at actually proccing the Braum passive.
I don't like Brumble. Not a huge Brumble fan.
No, I do agree with you. I know that if you know, there might be some jokes made about loving the Braum here. I'm not really there. I think that with the Vi and Rumble, I would have much preferred something like a Nautilus that can actually set up for these aggressive plays. Because now you are kind of playing two games and they seem somewhat antithetical to one another. Now, I do think you can play Kite back to a certain extent here, but it just doesn't feel as good. Particularly the Vi, I think, and the Rumble really are looking to I think more forward.
Based on how Sponge plays as well, he is not afraid to press an R button, and I don't know how much, like, if he presses an R button and Pletter's going to be there to be able to stand beside him and then get the ultimate through, and then you can layer over an equalizer, like, you can see how it's supposed to work, but from what we've seen in practicality, it hasn't been something that's been executed on very well from what we've seen.
Yeah.
And Braum is not an engaged threat. A lot of teams seem to think that like Braum being there, like landing a Winter's Bite, and then you can just like get a few auto attacks off with double 80 carry. I just don't see it as being enough to get things started. I
think the one thing this does buy you is more innate safety in the laning phase and a little bit of early pressure, because Braum's level 1 obviously is really, really good. And it is really hard to dive him. Particularly if Platter does end up going exhaust. We'll see if that's going to be the case. But I think the DRX comp to me is a little bit messy. I think the Vi has one job, and that is try and ult someone, and then the Rumble ult will come on top of it. But that's not my favorite use of Vi. I think the reason why we've seen with Annie and Ahri and picks like that is because it can actually do a whole lot more. D+ comp, I do enjoy, but see whether the comps are actually going to be the difference maker.
Exactly right. I want to see the level of play. Let's rock out! Dun, dun, dun. All right. Could have upped the pitch a little bit there, my side, but I do appreciate a do-to-do of any kind.
Who has a better chance of winning game 1?
I think the team that kills the most Nexuses.
Yeah, that's my bet as well. And if you're for a serious answer. Tough call. I think that D+, I like their drafts a little bit more. I think it works for their style. It's a very go-forward, aggressive style of draft. If the execution isn't there, though, if you're a little bit messy, I think DRX's draft punishes it really well. Because the one thing it does do exceptionally well, if they play it out right, is you absorb the initial blow, right? You jump back with Tristana, you use your Feather Storm, and then you can go and go back in with the Vi, go back in with the Rumble. And engaging into Brom is always going to be hard. What I expect will happen, though, is D+ will just generate insane leads through early to mid, through their team fighting, and the fact that they have this mid-jungle 2v2 that's extremely strong. And then DRX will have to like try and scramble and get a late-game miracle fight.
Yeah, I think that we're going to learn a lot in the first 8 minutes of this game. Because either D+ will be clean and crisp, and they're going to find these skirmishes and these engages, and we're going to be like, oh my god, they're unbeatable. Or DRX are going to be able to hold them at arm's length. DK are going to make some mistakes more characteristic of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And that is going to give us the information. I think that, like, I understand, you know, Kevin Kim in chat saying that thinks the DRX angle is good, because I think that, you know, Tristana is very strong, Rumble's very strong at the moment. There are things about this that could certainly work here for DRX, but I don't think draft is going to matter at all. If DK are playing to the level we know they're capable of, DRX do not stand a chance.
Yeah, at their best, D+ have been by a large margin the best team, and a lot of it just comes down to like mid-game playmaking between mostly Lucid and any of his other lanes. As we do take a look at Satap here, 4-1 on the Tristana, looking not too bad.
Managing to lose a game on Tristana is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think that the main thing with Tristana for me has just been seeing, even at the highest level, the difference in the impact she can have based on execution. Stomp goes in.
He has pressed W though, so he is practically immortal. Doctarm not quite finding the recall of the feathers effectively enough to alleviate Thumb of his first life. But still, he is relatively low. And keeping a Leona to a low health bar is definitely important, as Lucid is going to find Sponge, Q going to miss. First one, he's getting his eye in.
GG.
As Thumb is now trying to assist multiple areas.
Again. Sponge also misses Q.
Okay. Lucid is now standing. He's pretending to Dragon cosplay. Dragon cosplayers. Okay, they're going to turn on Thumb. Welcome to Challenger, Thumb. And that is going to be first blood. Rahel's going to have to flash away, but the Winters be biting. And they've got sharp teeth. Double kill here for the Sponge.
Well, I am feeling great about DRX, their chances in the game.
Yeah, we said within the first 8 minutes. Turns out we only needed 4.
Yeah. Now, is this completely insurmountable? No, because this is challengers and leads are relative. And the mid-jungle did suffer with Sponge picking up a kill, but we'll see if the 6 spikes could be enough. Problem here is mainly that Thumb is looking to try and get rid of Doctarm. Doctarm initially gets spaced out, but by the end, we see that Satap makes it here first. So Thumb moving too far forward and getting engaged on means the end of his life. Should have flashed the Q. And then maybe Ahri could have gone there. Maybe they could have made something work. But particularly pre-6, I actually don't think that the D+ comp is that strong. Because pre-6, you don't have Leona ult, you don't have reposition for Kai'Sa, and you don't have the dash for Pool Bay. And Thumb, unfortunately, realizing Academy and Challengers, not quite the same. Something we've seen happen exactly the same way.
I'm going to take away the blame from Thumb. I think Lucid's just, I think he can shoulder the majority of that one, personally. Because he's just like standing around and then says like, oh, we can fight this. You can't. And yeah, I don't understand what that was. So a little bit unfortunate.
Definitely rough.
So we'll see whether Thumb is going to be okay, whether they're going to be able to get themselves back into this one. Because I do like playing aggressively, especially with a skirmishy comp like this, but maybe just wait like for a couple of levels. And Satap now moving forward here. Junglers into Tristana around Raptor camps, and that is going to be a rough time, as Satap's just going to blow up Pool Bay. Very similar to what we saw happen to Showmaker and Canyon. in their most recent match as well.
They're getting absolutely boomed.
Yeah, blasted.
Thanatos?
Frog having a great time in top lane as well.
Want to highlight, Thanatos actually going for Aftershock here. Not something that we've seen in a really long time. Yeah, Negatron.
Negatron?
Yeah, when Negatron Cloak.
I'm so used to saying null magic, but he's just like the full Negatron.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, early 2v2, as mentioned, very important.
Astronautilus got a Morgan? I haven't got a Morgan yet.
It's straight up a sponge dip. He's actually been playing this Vice so well.
And it's also the fact that like Tristana is such easy follow-up on all of these engages. It's working out beautifully as Frog's flashing away from Thanatos. The Q going to miss there, but Frog overstepping a little bit. They trade flashes. Teleport's still up here for both of these still up for Frog. He was able to get the walk back, so he's going to be able to teleport back in.
So, I guess they're going to kill Satap here.
I guess he got Flash Charmed.
Yep, he got Flash Charmed, and this is really big. I think trying to get agency back here in the mid game is the only way you're going to actually be able to play out this game. And we see Thanatos also applying some pressure towards the top side, so now Frog has an angle. But Sponge, he's not going to let this go by without trying to look for a play of his own. Dive opportunity here. No Flash, no heal, no Killer Instinct available for Rahel.
They do have the Eclipse, so if Thumb can mind control DRX into engaging onto him, the Leona things could happen, but let's see how this dive is going to work out. DRX moving forward, they started off, and there it is, the engagement onto the Kai'Sa. All too easy here as Sponge just tanks it up. They grab themselves a plate as Doctarm just easily last hits the Thumb.
And bot side disaster for Rahel and Thumb here. And all credit to Sponge. Started off with the early kill. Now DRX pulling decisively ahead here with the follow-up gank. It was really cleanly done as well, right?
Yeah.
Getting the aggro early on and making sure that Sponge can just press his R button. Rahel doesn't have any counterplay whatsoever to that. So just ends up getting taken down. We now see D+ trying to still play forward to the top side, and kind of have to. Actually getting a trade out of this seems very unlikely though, besides just getting a couple of plates, and that's not going to be enough. You're basically looking to get like a successful dive plus a first turret blood. Like otherwise the trade is going to be very unfavorable for you as we look here again. Starts it off. Pleta picks up aggro. Or actually Doctarm that picks up the aggro. Well, it's fine either way. Has his Feather Storm available. And then not a whole lot to be done.
Really gorgeously done. And I do want to shout out, I think that the Glacial Fissure actually interrupted the Zenith Blade as well. Ooh. And it also hit Rahel. It was gorgeously played by Pleta. Really demonstrating that not only does he have great AD carry mechanics, but not too rusty on the old Braum shenanigans as well from his previous time as a support. So Lucid gonna move into this top lane, and
as Flash.
Yeah, Frog was playing the early lane extraordinarily well, was why he was able to get that cheetah recall, gets himself back to lane without using the teleport, which is why we see him with about a wave difference as far as an advantage, even though both top laners had to use their teleports.
Mid gank here for Sponge, almost has his ultimate available.
Yeah, that is going to be the Q missing, and the Q missing, and Frog getting out of it.
Sponge not going to look for the ult angle in mid just yet. Instead, just picking up the camp here. And might be pathing towards the bottom half of the map. Will now be going for the red buff, but maybe overstepping a little bit. Should know that people are on their way.
Some.
I've been looking for a 3v3, but it is really risky. Doesn't look like they actually want to go for it.
They didn't know where Sponge was, but Thumb figured out how to put a finger on it. And Satap now getting a little bit of damage onto the outer turret in mid lane. I wonder how many great Thumb puns we'll be able to get through in
Hopefully
this
a
one.
lot.
Probably 0, but we will be able to get through a lot of Thumb puns.
I don't know a lot of puns regarding...
Just anything that... involving fingers. I guess.
Yeah, but even then, like, doesn't really immediately ring a bell. As Thanatos, the trade initially goes well because he had Aftershock, and then the moment it times out, the trade did not go well. And it's like, again, Rumble got buffed into into tank specifically.
Yeah,
because they added a max health burn. And D+ are just getting absolutely boomed here in the first game. DRX are not even making it look close.
Nope. And they're able to take 3 plates already here on this bottom side. Pleta moving up to try and get the zone happening, and it's working out. Sponge for the follow-up as well. There's even the Blade Caller.
Look at the
getting
health
some
bar
work
for
done.
hell.
No, exactly.
Just came back.
He's already at 50%. And no, he didn't just come back. He actually had to cancel the back because he didn't want to give up all the experience. But he had to anyway because he still got zoned. So he's not able to go for a buy or anything like that. Of course, does still have the Noon Quiver, but oh my goodness, this is disastrous for DK. Satab now looking to move down, and as Sponge clears up this Mountain Drake, he could theoretically look to put the screws in on that bottom side, but Lucid is going to move into the mid lane, try and relieve some of that bot lane pressure by sending Shelly into the turret. And there it is, there's the flash forward, they get the cease and desist, and that's a dead Ari, couldn't even press the R button, and now Lucid suffering the same fate. Vaultbreaker is fantastic, the last auto comes in, and he's not going to burn down. Yeah, I'd be a little bit afraid, but the Raptors are not going to be enough to take him down. And the Lee Sin is able to limp away. But still, like, Satab 1-1 and 3 now. And it's a 4-0-2 Sponge.
There's only one guy. Because I think that the responsibility of Lucid on the bot play, I think it's fine to put it on him. I think Fun made a little bit of a mistake, but, you know, he's just called up, so it's not the end of the world. But it's just been a colossal jungle gap here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm really impressed. And part of that is due to Lucid in the early skirmish, it not working out. Part of that is to Pool Bay not really respecting the impact that Vi have. But most of it is just Sponge playing really damn well. Like, he legitimately has been... so he dove bot. He got 2 successful ganks off mid. He's been getting 2 dragons.
Yeah.
And he's even on farm.
He's an absolute monster. The Sponge may have absorbed the power of Lucid, perhaps, in their last matchup. I'm not entirely sure. We'll just have to see whether this level of play is going to continue. Thanatos towards the top side is still pretty happy up here. Does have that flash available once again now. No teleport though, so it is going to be a bit of an island up there as Satab teleports back in. Kraken Slayers across the board for the 280 carries. And D+, I don't know whether the story gets any better, right? Because we were calling, like, when it comes to Rumble compositions, it's not necessarily our favorite based on, you know, lack of hard engage outside of just Vi. But having soul magic damage on the Rumble is absolutely fantastic. And if the Blade Callers work out right, if they are able to get these ultimates layered through with the Glacial Fissure and the Equalizer, it is real scary as there's a kickback. Q is going to connect there as well, but the cease and desist under the turret is fantastic. Satab now looking to turn it one more time, and there it is, the kill onto the Ahri, and they are so far ahead. They destroy the turret and the mid laner.
This right there is why you can't lose in the jungle 2v2 in this matchup. Like, the moment you fall behind, this could have been happening to Sponge and Satab had they fallen behind, right? Because both these, all of the 4 of these champions are so snowbally. So the moment you get a lead, as Huni would often say, 1 kill, game's over. That's what's happening here, right? You have, again, Sponge getting the immediate Q on top of Lucid, making sure he doesn't actually get to output any of his damage. Then Satab, as a result, gets to use his W to get out of the play, and Lucid completely unable to get anything done. And in this first game, I'm not making any judgments on the series, because I do think that we've seen a lot of challenger teams have, you know, game 1s and then look completely unrecognizable. But this first game, I don't know what DRX has got to do to throw this one out of the window, because...
Yeah, this is the kind of game 1 that can win game 2 as well.
Yeah.
With a performance like this. It's very, very impressive. Now, 4-0-3, 100% kill participation. Absolutely incredible. Aw, Sharpie, good night. Hope you have a very lovely time. And sweet dreams. So yeah, a little bit sad, Chronicler. A little bit sad that we don't get a competitive first game here, but we do know that DK are capable of better. So hopefully as the series progresses, we can see some more competitive games. But right now, this is... The test is going to be DRX and how well they can close this out cleanly and not giving away any sort of opportunity, because this game is in the bag. There is no other way to slice it.
Yeah, if you lose this game, it's also a 2-0, but for D+, because if you throw this one, like,
oh yeah, 100%.
You're not bouncing back.
It's the only volatility is in that, but honestly, the ball is in DRX's court right now.
It's a 6.5k gold lead, 16 minutes in. There's Ocean Soul, which is not necessarily amazing, but is perfectly fine. Will also help you deal with the Kai'Sa poke. Yeah, that's Plata.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care too much.
He'll give them the fireplace.
I'll guess we'll have like one fight, one opportunity for D+ to show that maybe they can get anything going. But like, I'm looking at the spikes as well. I just don't feel like they're strong enough right now. It's going to need some colossal outplay to really get anything going, and it looks like they also don't really want to try and flip it here.
Nope.
Really
the Harpoons and the Winter's Bite actually enough to push them away from the pit here. DRX going to send the message, and DK going to hear it loud and clear. And they do manage to get the shove forward, but with this outer turret missing, DRX were able to push that wave far enough to the point where it was just not enough.
This is a very good question. As I'm pretty sure that...
that's a way to do it.
I mean, it's fine. Works out. They get Shelly to where she needs to be.
Did they use her for zoning? That was very strange. Equalizer going to come down here as they are just burning down. The Cassante going to be the first one to fall. It's a double as Satab. He's getting all of the resets. Lucid finds himself on the wrong side of this one on the back end of a beautiful buster shot. And now it's a 4-1-4 for this Tristana. Satab, thanks to Sponge, is now colossally fed. And this one's it's all over, but the crying.
It's Hover.
It is.
It's Crover. It's any form of over.
It's Ferova. That's Frog over.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's Spover.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's been sponged. Yeah, this is just beautiful. Also, the positioning of the equalizer.
This is an aftershock up to something. Look at what happens to him.
Yeah. And throughout all of it, did he also buffer a rocket jump to avoid being blast coned as well?
Yeah, I wish I could vote for Satab, but we aren't allowed to.
I'm kind of like I'm a bit meh on Vi votes just because Vi is relatively binary.
I know, but I think it has to be...
It does have to be
It does have to be Spongius. I mean, I think you can vote for Satab. Satab played really well as well. I don't think that's an egregious vote.
I think it does have to be Sponge.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, but
you should vote for Frog. Ritz, 77 games. That is based.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I don't think it's accurate, but it is brave and it is based.
It absolutely is, and that's not the negative
DRX really hasn't lost a series since. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Stockdom is quite good. And DRX was already good. Like, it's also... Yeah. I don't want this to be a situation where, like, oh, that this team was already good. They just also got an extra good AD carry. But even before that, this team is winning a whole lot in challengers as...
Yeah, Lucid is going to try and find himself a kick. They're looking for a bit of an angle as Sponge. That's a lot of money if they are able to grab the kill, but he's surviving for forever! He's still alive. That's a double kill for Doctom. That is going to be another one going over to Satab as well. And yeah, I think it's voting time.
Yeah.
It's definitely voting time. Sometimes Sponge is just too far ahead.
The one series that we thought was 100% going to be like a competitive free gamer is just going to be at Swift DRX 2-0. That'd be crazy.
It's opposite day. We know that the last game is going to be a 3-gamer though, right?
Yeah, no, we are very aware. And here we have an obvious trap set up. But the trap doesn't really work. They don't actually have the items. Because Sponge in a normal game state is 100% dead there, but they're so far ahead, it doesn't matter. And even if they kill Sponge, and obviously you're still standing in a corridor with an equalizer.
It would have been a great play if Sponge died.
Even then,
for DRX.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been completely okay. Wouldn't have cared. Yeah, this is a complete blowout. This is a rebroadcast of Spring. I know, right?
True, you know.
And then, let's not... this is why I think it's also another good opportunity to remind you that this is definitely worse, but D+ in Spring had their moments. DRX have had their moments where they haven't looked as good.
And it was around now.
Around
actually
same time
as well.
Yeah.
Like it was middle of round 2. As kickback onto Frog. He's going to flash, however, I think he's going to die. This time, DK are actually able to land it. Great buffer there for Satab to avoid being charmed. Buster shot onto 3, and now he can single out Lucid. This is 1 versus 5, and he's dead. So not actually able to do that. I do like the limit testing, and Docdom is in the bottom lane looking to try and win the game.
Yeah, Docdom just minding his own business. He's not really bothered by, you know, what the mortals are doing. He's just on his own, in his lane.
Yeah, and this actually is going to alleviate a lot of the Baron push because they kill Frog, they kill Satab, and so it could put a bit of a dampener on, but it should still mean Ocean Soul.
It is, and I think for the game this won't matter. It's just good to see some sign of lines. This also showcases what this composition can do. If the early game and the mid-jungle 2v2 isn't an absolute disaster, there is a lot of backline threat, you know, there is a lot of dive opportunity. The problem is just that that D+ is doing this at this point in the game when it just isn't realistically going to matter. But it's fun to see a showcase of what the thought behind the draft was.
It is still somewhat Frover.
Oh no, yo, don't you worry.
But it's looking great. As Thumb, I mean, straight out of Academy, already walking down the red carpet. That is fame. That is fame right there.
That's not the... I mean, I think in your first one, you know, Grizzly in his first Market game didn't look too good. And Thumb, unfortunately, is also not looking very good in his first game in Challengers.
Yeah. Right now, we're looking at a bit of a thumbs down, but it could be a thumbs up by the end of the series.
He really does have one of the easiest names to nickname for Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, no, and the best thing is like saying thumbs up, thumbs down is not actually like it's not toxic. It's actually kind of fine. But this is definitely a thumbs down to start this one. Yeah. Although G-Riz, yeah, for Twitch chat probably still the best.
Yeah, but
love this.
I'm so happy he's there, man.
There are challenger call-ups and there are challenger call-ups. As Lucid, he's going in, he's going out. And DRX just avoiding a lot of the damage here.
White Boars mentioned? Yes.
Yeah.
What would be toxic? This is a loving. As we've gotten bigger, we've had to, you know, give out a little bit more
some
time.
moments. I have noticed
large,
that
though,
since Valdez made his first comment, things have gotten better. As Docdom is going to Feather Storm, does look for the Blade Caller and does get there, and man, the wallet difference is just so large. Look at Satab. His best Mario impression coming through as Poolbay. He's going to go golden and doesn't get hit by the final ticks of the equalizer, so he will live to fight another day. But it might be fighting better done in game number 2 because DRX, they did not hold back. There was zero mercy. They obliterate DK in game number 1. Kick does come through. Satab visits the enemy fountain for a moment, but that is not going to alleviate the damage to this Nexus. DRX, that was just brutal.
Yep, absolutely boomed them.
Savage.
Really well done by DRX.
Wrecked.
Won the early skirmishes, and then, and that's the big thing for me, you see the acknowledgement of how far ahead they are, and they really push it. Yeah. And that's what I really appreciate. I think a lot of the mid-tier teams might get an early lead like that against D+, and then not do anything. Right, as we're going to take a look here, as Thanatos tries to get a pick, Docdom instead, able to just Feather Storm, make his way out, and that, again, Aftershock.
The flash looked a bit awkward, but I think he got Blade Caller snares on 2 on the back end, and that was made it very easy for DRX to lock down the rest of the kills.
It was just, it was kind of an everything gap. Mostly mid-jungle, I'd say, but it's also a really great showcase of when you are Brom and your team is winning, life is very good.
Oh, yeah.
Life is amazing.
It feels really good to be able to just walk up to every objective like a Chad and just like park yourself there and say, if you wanna be able to fight us, then go ahead and try.
Do it. Yeah, give it a go. See how it goes. Yeah. And it's really interesting that in 24.5 minutes we saw one glimpse of what the D+ comp is supposed to do. And I think that this is a really good example of D+ building up bad habits because they've won so much. The fact that they go in on that early skirmish with a player that's new while your mid laner doesn't have prio and pre-6 when Ahri isn't really online yet.
But it also shows that if you break up a team that's functioning well together, they can really fall apart, even if it is just one member, because you get a balance in comms. You get like a vibe, and if something is shaken up there, it takes a lot of time.
You know, at least for D+, they're not the worst example of a team falling apart after one member has left.
What about a team getting way better after one team has left?
Well, then we also have seen that, because that's G-Riz!
That's the G-Riz!
G-Riz!
So maybe Thumb just needed to get this one out of his system. Yeah, Sponge was obviously going to grab this.
Obviously.
5, 0, and 10. And yeah, being a little bit facetious with the anti-buy, I definitely put in my Sponge vote. And didn't die throughout the whole game, although he tried his very best to get in amongst it as much as possible. And he just lapped him up. The absorbency of this guy, just absurd. 88.2% in the end, but 100% when it counted, when it comes to kill participation.
I think the Sponge has been one of the coolest arcs. This is coming after another jungler with a great name. Peach, of course, was at the front runner.
You can't spell Sponge without Pog? It is so true!
Yeah, you can.
OMG.
Yeah. And him coming in at the beginning of this year was kind of a question mark for us. How good was he going to be? Was he going to have the impact that we were looking for?
Oh, you also can't spell Sponge without Nope.
Yes. I mean, are we just playing... is this what we do? Just looking at Sponge's name, coming up with new words? Okay, I'm down.
You can't spell it without Sog either.
Nice.
And that's what happens to a sponge after it absorbs too much. Let's go to a break. I'm sorry for derailing. Good howdy, everyone, and welcome back to LCK Challenger 2023 Summer. We're here after DRX just clapped.
Boom.
DK.
Demolished. Destroyed.
Big mega boom. They were sponged out of their minds. It was just
so clean.
Devastating amount of sponging that happened. And I was here for it, man. I really enjoyed watching, Dr. also had a great performance, but Satab was some vintage Satab. Really looking fantastic in that mid lane.
Yeah, I like it when our challenger teams, like especially the top half, I want to see good League of Legends. You know, earlier today, Kwangdong Gen.G, I'm like, see what you got. You know, let's just see what we can get.
That was League of Legends being played on Summoner's Rift in our first series.
Yes.
And this was
the
sponginating.
9-game dream still looking good. Not so hard after the first one, but wouldn't be challengers if a team doesn't like stomp a game like that and then inexplicably runs it down the next one. But I do trust DRX. I think DRX, their streak has been amazing. I think this is also a team that has been together for the whole year. They haven't really made any impactful changes besides the fact that now they have Dokdam, who is definitely an AD carry of LCK level, and then also Plata in support. And Plata was already really good, has played LCK level of support as well, although, you know, not the
Bal and
best
Becca
player.
had their moments.
Yeah,
they
they
weren't
did.
the worst part of that DRX roster.
No, they weren't. No. Yeah, that was...
Yeah. So I'm 100% there with you, but it is still Challenger, and this is still D+, who kind of inexplicably feed and then inexplicably turn it all around. So
We'll
it
see.
might be that they can come back in a game number 2, but holding breath is ill-advised at this point in time. I also, I have to admit something. I timed out a guy in chat. His name was World Peace. So
you're the one
there
who
is
ruined
no
it.
world peace for the next 4 hours. And it looks like DRX may thrive under those sort of conditions, because it was not peaceful what they did.
No, it was not. Thank you, Crazy Pop. I really appreciate that. It's very nice. That's good to hear. But always try to, you know, bring the outfits.
You got them dope Indonesian swag.
I actually have been distributing the Indonesian swag.
Yeah, I have a couple. One of
you have
them's
two
a little.
now.
Yeah, one of them's a little bit of a bag, but the other one fits gorgeously.
Yeah,
and
and
I'm
then
very excited. About
there is also the ones that Wolf will get in a little bit, which is really cool. As I don't know, are we like lucid and then we're showing a picture of ourselves, but we're also there? I don't know if I'm missing something here. Maybe it's a reference that I'm not understanding. Will Peas get banned because I think it was talking about betting?
Is that like, would you like to date my friend?
Could be.
That might be it.
We don't know.
This is my friend's MySpace picture. Would you like to date me?
Actually, I think it's Hives.
Oh, she looked healthy to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Very, very strange. Yeah, you can see Lucid a little bit quizzical, head in hands a little bit here. But it doesn't really seem like a DK that are that bothered by what's going on here. Rahel, you can see, relatively high spirits. So we'll see whether they can just brush that game under the rug and go for another one. But no side selection change.
Yeah. This people, or this team rather, has also been together for like a year and a half at this point, right? They've been in challengers for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I think that at this point they should be relatively comfortable bouncing back after a loss like that. But it's a little different if it felt like they were actively losing the game. It just felt like DRX was playing so clean.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens here in game number 2. As I think the draw from D plus was playable, but after some early executions, not so much.
And the Kai'Sa first pick, I don't know whether first picking for Rahel is ever really what D+ need to do. I think getting Tristana, for example, would I think be a good idea for this team.
Setup game. Man.
Yeah, precisely. And we saw what DRX were capable of doing as well, right? You can flex the Tristana down. I'm totally okay with this as well. I think that Sponge was pivotal on the Vi. You can also, if you still want to play the Ahri, you can still play the Ahri. This does mean Tristana Kai'Sa. And that is a combination of champions.
Yeah. As we saw though, just win the early game hard enough that Kai'Sa doesn't matter, which is actually what DRX did.
True.
And Nico also makes it through this time around, because the Ahri did get banned here on DRX, their side. So they might have been suspecting that it was going to be the Vi pickup, and it takes away a lot of the picks that you'd pair with Vi, because LeBlanc and Ahri are kind of the main ones.
Huh. This is...
Yeah,
So picking
clearly
Nico,
a very different read.
Yeah, picking Nico and then not taking away the Tristana, I think is quite odd, because Buster Shot is very, very strong now.
Yeah.
With the fact that you see Nico pop out and you're like, oh, bye-bye, and then she doesn't ult you.
Yeah. Jax Tristana feels like a winner to me. Is very AD heavy though, so instead of going to go for Annie, which I think is fine. Not
I guess it's okay.
super excited about, but Annie always is going to be strong. Provides a lot of utility. As the Nico Nocturne.
Oh no, that is
DRX. That's disgusting. That combo is so obnoxious to play into, because if you think it's bad, and of course Nico was nerfed a little bit, but if you can't see anything, then who cares about the nerf?
Nope. This is a really rough time. So Sponge gonna be Yeah, sponging from the darkness.
Yeah, but with all the oohing and ahhing that we're doing at DRX's draft, though, I'm getting increasingly worried about their odds of winning the game.
I mean, I do love what they've put together here.
It's looking really good. Are they just not going to ban Kai'Sa? They're like, Rahel, pick it. We don't care. Watch us care.
I mean, I guess they just like the Xayah into Kai'Sa matchup, which we have seen working out. And if DK continue to be this short range, DRX's ability to pick them apart will be pretty comfortable. Jax does like it when it's short range into short range, though. So we'll see what Thanatos is going to be able to do with that one in his back pocket. Frog not going to be rumbling this time around, and the Kai'Sa is going to be banned.
Might be a Rel angle here.
A wrangle?
A wrangle, sure. Could be the case. Can also just pick up a
Renekton.
top laner here. Yeah, because you already know what the top lane matchup is going to be, and by the way, you get plenty the opportunity to counter pick. And I don't know what you pick her as D+. I feel like
where's the Kips,
like a
man?
Renata might be really good.
We need to have someone calling for Renekton support. What?
I'm like looking at like Renata Varus could be an angle because you actually have a lot of laning pressure, and I think Renata will be really good in
Ooh, I like that.
Ashe Heimer could be okay. Does provide laning pressure, but I think Heimer is not as good because of the range that the Nico ultimate has. So you are generally always going to be positioned at least relatively aggressive. We'll see if Fun can do a little bit better as well. I think you get in your first game, you definitely get a bit of a mulligan.
Yeah.
And he also got off to a bad start. But this is also a kid that was born in 2007.
Oh my
So,
God.
you know, give him, yeah, I know. Yeah, I read that and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was already out of high school.
Yeah. Brom, also fine. The downside of this, obviously, is that your engage is going to be mostly just Ashe and Annie, which, as far as like quick trigger pulls go, is fine, but it is not as good when you're in a 5v5 standoff, because I think the team generally will be pretty responsive and aware of what is happening. Rel is good into Braum in the way that you can engage past his door. Bad in the way that if the Braum has good reflexes, it will put up the door. Hopefully an Emax door. And then, yeah, I know. And then you should be able to provide relative safety here.
Relative, I got it.
Yep.
So once again, we're going into a draft where we feel like D+ can be okay. I'm worried about the Annie though, because Poolbay is just, he's had some stinkers on this champion.
It's really easy to just like chain inch it on this into the enemy draft. Like really, really easy, because you have 0 mobility into Nico, Nocturne, and Rel.
Do you like Xayah or Rella?
Rella actually sounds cool. That doesn't bother me.
All right.
As long as we stay away from the truly cursed combination of Samira and Rel that now not only you,
Smearl,
but Veldis has also been forcing upon my ears.
My favorite. I love that one.
Rella is
Ritz77,
nice.
You're right though. Rella, that's the way to go. So we're going to lock that one in. Rahel.
That's
I like it a lot. I love DRX's draft. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think the short range doesn't really matter when D+ also don't have very much of it. Getting feathers past the Braum can be very frustrating. So Braum, a great matchup into the Xayah in particular.
Yeah. Xayah's game is going to be a little tough because there is a lot of backline threat. You only have one Feather Storm. But I do think looking at how the composition is going to play out mid to late, it's going to be very hard for D+ to win fights unless they're pulling the trigger. That relies on map control. It relies on you generally to at least have a modicum of pressure and not fall too far behind in the early game. And after game number 1, see if they can actually pull it off. Because game 1 was a disaster when it comes to that.
Do you know what I feel? I feel that rocking out a little bit and then doing is what we need. Heck yeah. I got exactly what I wanted. Sometimes you just get exactly what you wanted, Chronicler.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Well, Thumb's got a pretty door. I do kind of like the dragony vibes. Pretty door. I remember that TFT set with the dragon. What was it called? Dragon something?
No idea. No idea.
The Dragon
8.5.
Man's Swain was
this
really
is nice.
cool.
You know, a first chat that just rates the do. That's just the first chat. That's perfect.
Heck yeah.
Great contribution.
Appreciate you guys.
really nice.
TFT Mobile, Dududunga.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who says heck in my G-rated chat? I'm very sorry, Gamma Ray. We will do our very best to stop saying
I assume he does. Otherwise, I mean, he might.
Thumb has the ability to grip things.
Yes.
That my cat does not have.
Yeah.
My cat
doesn't have opposable thumbs. Yeah.
Yeah, or opposable thumbs. Thumbs, I felt coveted. My cat was quite warm today because it's a warm day in Korea. Do you want to have a look at the picture of
Yes,
Vivian?
please. I would love that.
Vivian was reclining. Look at him.
That is adorable.
Just
I wish I could
spread out on the poof in front of the couch.
So it's a little cat that's like really lounging. He's like trying to sink into the pillow.
He's as flat as possible.
Very. Yeah, we can't show you guys right now, but we'll show you at the end.
I'll just post both of the pictures on Twitter.
Oh, there you go. So you can go after the game. You can go. Oh no, he's doing it right now.
I'm doing it right now.
You can just check Atlas's Twitter right now. Maybe tweet as well about the fact that Challengers is live. I feel like either of us definitely should have done that. And goals here for either early game. DRX is going to look to just power farm Nocturne to 6 and then play the game. For the other ends, it is obviously somewhat similar, but you do have a lot more early pressures. Thanatos is getting frogged hard. The flash, the Q!
The solo frogginating! And we just bring up Thanatos' stats, and we're like, look at him. He can play the jacks good. Frog's like, oh yeah? How about this?
How about a crocodile? Man. The top side of DRX is popping off today. Thanatos already falling behind in this matchup is really, really rough because this is a matchup that eventually the Jacks will win. But generally, the early levels actually favorable for him. Then Renekton starts to take over again eventually. And then you have to hold out until you get your Sunderer. And depending on how the matchup is gone, maybe another item. And right now, not looking too hot. The solo bolo here for Frog, absolutely huge.
Just amazing. Really beautiful stuff. I'll tweet a link to the cat photos. I really apologize.
It's looking pretty frozen. Love that. As Doctom, he hasn't lost in Challengers. So they might have lost individual games, I'm not 100% sure. But he has not actually lost series at all. As taking a look at this, Frog sitting on full Fury. The short trade from Thanatos looks okay initially, then he walks back to the wave. Gets a little bit too close as Satan just died. Poolbay and Lucid setting up with double flash, the clean early kill, getting Poolbay ahead and providing some much needed gold for their team. And man, Atlas, a D+, where if the mid jungle doesn't perform well, life gets very hard. I wonder where I have seen that before.
Well, you may have seen it in the LCK in exactly the same team, Chronicler, but I think that's what you were potentially setting me up for, is that was a cute flash from Poolbay, and they are able to at least take down the Nico. But let's see whether it can continue, because Frog is starting to become a very large frog/crocodile.
I thought you were going to go for like Frogzilla.
I was going to say amphibian, but a crocodile isn't actually amphibious, so they live in the water often.
Yeah, but they can't
spend
breathe.
a lot of time, but they can't breathe under there.
Yeah,
so it's just sadly not correct.
Just a large lizard of the water-enjoying variety.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed Vivian, and thank you for looking at my cat. Appreciate it. Thumb will give them the door. Nicely done. Pletter is going to, take a few stacks, but he'll otherwise be okay. It's Poolbay. Good to see him performing better, because he has had a rough time. Wow. Oh, I think someone was trying to reply to me and then got themselves timed out because it was a reply to a link. Feels bad. Oh, wait, never mind. There's a good reason why they were...
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can just punch them out forever. Maybe 2 weeks to think about it. Yeah, 2 weeks to think about it. Yeah, feels bad.
Oh,
there's the Pop Blossom. Does manage to find Poolbay there. He puts down a bear.
Wait.
And Satab is going to be answered quite nicely. Tibbers protect, and he also attack.
This is the epitome of, I thought that was going to go better.
Yes, I guess the Merc Treads really are kind of doing some work here. Satab not quite there yet, but does at least have the null magic, as Sponge may face check. Oh, he's a blender, but he may get blended. Never mind, Thumb was not there. And they are actually going to get the fear down. And Lucid is going to have to try and get out of this one. I'm not sure. No, he's just not going to be able to. And so he's just dead. So Doctor gathers himself a kill. Can you make sense of that, Chronicle? I can't make sense of it as Thanatos takes damage in the top lane.
No, it's another example of... we've seen this with so many teams. I think T1 is another really good example of this. Is where a team, if they have for a long period of time, have prio in every lane and are always first on rotations, they start moving in ways where, like, they have, like, as if they have the control. And like there, Lucid, you just don't. Poolbay has just used everything. All the cooldowns you have on Satab. Sponge was actually spotted, and you don't necessarily want to try and like hard force a 3v3 here, particularly for just a random scuttle. So now Lucid is far behind in experience. Sponge is actually sitting on level 6, and again, the cure, it's just very clear that the communication isn't really there, because the fact that Fun and Lucid are that far up when the enemy bot lane is literally like...
Yeah, Doctom has first roam, so you just don't...
Yeah,
you're not allowed to do that.
Can't make that happen. And D+ still playing a little bit sloppy. Not really able to showcase a lot of the decision making. I think the mechanics that we've seen are still fine. Like obviously, like the Poolbay Lucid play earlier on, even in the last game when they had already lost, there were a couple of good moments. But that alone is not going to win you games in challengers. Well, maybe against some teams, but definitely not against DRX. This team is the real deal, and you really got to play better, because giving over 3 kills to Doctom,
that ain't
really the way to go.
It's not great. Doctom going to be able to get back to lane with Berserker's Grease. Equalized by Rahel here quite nicely on this Ashe. See what he's going to be able to get done. As Lucid gets over the wall, does have access to his ult, but Lucid is going to be spotted, and so therefore we will see the potential action dissipate. But Sponge is ready to blend, man. He is he's taken the blender version of the Nocturne, and he hasn't pressed his paranoia button just yet. He's ready to make things a little bit frightening on the Rift. Does now have access to this Rift Herald. It's been alive for 50 seconds in this game. Rahel able to get some pressure down onto Doctom. The range advantage of the Ashe working out nicely here. Throwing volleys out left, right, and center, so we'll be able to collect himself 1 plate. And now just going to continue.
Yeah, as long as you can keep this matchup in isolation, Rahel should be doing just fine. As heavy investment towards the top half of the map, Doctom does have his ultimate available, but is sitting here at half health underneath the turret. And if they can just force it with an arrow, I think they can make this dive work. Although Doctom doing a great job of clearing the wave.
Yeah, Lucid going to move on in, and he can't even Vault Breaker because then the Featherstorm comes out, and he's not actually able to lock down the kill, possibly dies to the turret. So without the minion wave, it is really, really rough. With a wave, it's fine because the minions keep tanking up the turret if you Featherstorm, but outside of that, it's not going to work.
It's rough. They obviously do get a win here, right? They're able to deny decent waves to Doctom. Rahel gets a good back, but given that you gave up the Herald, like it's not, it's still a negative trade.
Not to mention, like, giving continual advantages to a Nocturne feels really bad as well, because you can really overtake your opposition as this champion. And if you do, putting the screws in becomes relatively easy, as there's a paranoia towards the top lane. Flash, leap strike, but the fear still connects, and that is going to be a very comfortable slice and dice. Still, Frog gets underneath the turret, and another leap strike will allow Thanatos to get himself out.
Thanatos actually staying alive there is huge. It denies Sponge the opportunity to get himself an early kill. Didn't actually check his runes, but I'm going to assume that he went for the usual Ultimate Hunter, so picking up early kills on Nocturne. Very, very big.
Yeah, no, and Lucid, he did actually. That was one that I looked at.
There you go. We'll see if Lucid can make something happen towards the bottom half of the map, but even just zoning or forcing some summoners would be quite a big win. Sponge, though, already on its way, and it looks like there isn't really a timing win of 40+, so no cross-map opportunity, but still good from Thanatos to stay alive there.
Yep. This game, much more honest, though. Much closer between these two squads. So hopefully we see some good team fights that could potentially actually decide this game instead of it just being Sponge rolls over them in the early game.
Rahel, very based. Actually putting points in Q instead
go.
of just maxing out volley. Love that. Something that got a lot better after they buffed it on 13-11, I want to say. So a lot of AD carries and solo queue experimenting with that as well. Was even with the gang not killing Thanatos, we should still mention that Frog did get a sizable advantage from it and will continue to dictate the pace in this matchup.
Yep, this was without putting down the Rift Herald as well, so that is still there.
Still there.
Able to be used towards
it's
the
gonna be
mid lane if they'd like.
Based on Sponge's pathing and the timing, should be going down towards the top side of the map here. Could be the case. I think
That
it has
will be
to.
a big
It's about
crocodile.
to time out.
It is. So yeah, sometimes it bugs out. We've seen that.
Maybe I'm just getting pranked. Yeah,
Yeah,
could
we
be
do
the
get
case.
pranked just a little bit sometimes. So Sponge not gonna have to use it just yet.
I guess
He's
not.
actually gonna go home. And spamming his back multiple times. They do have Paranoia very, very soon, but that is a Jax now under a turret, so that is going to be difficult to gank. Going to be going back home and might need to just, when is it going to be timing out? What is going on?
Very sad.
Yeah.
I would personally love to actually know how long it takes. It's very important. And looking at the setup here, D+ is very straightforward. Find single target, kill single target, ideally with a flash from Poolbay, an arrow from Rahel, or Lucid, or any combination of those. For DRX, it's multi-man lockdown, right? The combination of diving into the backline, having your rel available, and setting up your Nico with the Nocturne ult for great success. It looks like they are aware as well, though. DRX are not really giving them an opportunity to single out a target. We have Sponge and Plata and Docdom entering through the river is a lot tougher to actually do than going through mid, but we do get easy prio here. Doesn't mean that Rahel is going to have to play it a little bit slower as Herald is put down.
Do you know what's really interesting? I know it's mainly Game Freak that owns Pokemon, but Nintendo does as well, and they are, they're very aggressive when it comes to protecting their IPs. I'm pretty sure this Nocturne skin came out before Eternatus. And that Pokemon, like the main legendary from Sword and Shield, looks exactly the same as this Nocturne skin. Coincidence?
I think not.
Not entirely
I don't
sure.
know. Maybe it is.
I'd like to hear some thoughts from any Pokemon fans in chat. I think it's Eternatus. He's got a weird name, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So, yeah, let me know. Brewery just getting completely clapped by a Nightbot. Apologize.
They were
Apologies for that.
agreeing with you, though. They were like, oh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you may have said, a rude word, but I completely agree. Like, it's so simple. Anyway.
Thanatos might be getting Nocturne ulted here again. There's no real help available for him. But this is Jax against... If this was a Rumble, it'd be very different. But this is Jax against...
Renekton, yeah.
Renekton and Nocturne, right? So you just...
Do you do
really hard
damage
to
when he
dive.
press E?
Yeah. Yeah, it is tough.
Poolbay throws an ability at Plata.
Oh, now he's not underneath his turret. That makes it a lot easier.
Your screen just left.
That's fine.
It's even a Turnum Nocturne. Exactly! It's, it's something that I hadn't thought about enough. But it's like Riot knew that it was going to happen. Actually, this is tinfoil. But, Mortdog came from Nintendo. But then I think he almost directly joined TFT and was working on ARAM. I don't think he was working with the skins team. And I don't know how long he's been there.
Do the timelines line up? That's not... Atlas is just asking questions.
I'm actually just
He's just
throwing
asking
things out.
Just asking questions.
And as someone that's watched like so much of Mort's content as well, that is not the guy that he is as well. He's not like sharing trade secrets about new Pokemon that are coming out in order to make skins.
Because I can tell you that Atlas would have asked. He would have tried to figure it out. Might have a team fight on our hands here.
And yeah, let's see. Teleport going to come forward here. It's Satab making his way in. Who is he dressed as, though, is the question. As that's a lot of Nocturnes, it's a lot of Blenders, it's a lot of Pokemon. But that is a big old bear. The arrow is going to sail off majestically, but does nothing. Magnet Storm, kind of fantastic into the backline. Pop Blossom finds some value, but not that much. Still, the bottom lane will be eradicated. And DRX, their team fighting this series has been fantastic. Somehow Sponge is able to sail his way out. Still, Thanatos, he's kind of massive, and Pleta needs to try and get some crash downs, get some CC to work this one out. Satab just getting pull bait as well, as the Annie wants to be the one to tidy this up. Still, Sponge just walks back, somehow managed to get the majority of his health bar back. And Pleta's face checking these brushes. Pull bait. He can eat honey fruit. This is ridiculous, actually. When's the circle going to start coming around to make sure that they have to actually get out of there? As Sponge not going to get queued to death as the stun comes through. And maybe just maybe give up on it. He doesn't have a lot of mana left, I guess. Pleta not suffering from that one because he's got blue buff. And he's just going to try and lance him. There's another crash down. Frog will turn up. And Sponge with a Duskbringer will get the kill finally. But Yakety Sax was playing through my mind.
Yeah, the only reason why that fight was even remotely close was because Poolbay got a cancel or got a stun off on the Nico, as we'll see in a little bit. So they try to engage, but engage isn't that good without Vi. The re-engage comes through. Watch this here. I thought he stunned him, but no, said it just didn't reach. Poolbay didn't have a stun ready. And as a result, Poolbay and Lucid and Thanatos actually get to do a whole lot of damage. The problem is without your Ashe and Braum there, Braum gives you the CC that you need, and Ashe gives you the consistent DPS. So instead, we have this scenario where we're just watching slowly Poolbay go down. The fact that it is Poolbay that's alive as opposed to the Jax is really rough, because Jax probably would have 1v3'd there if he could have stayed alive. As Doctor?
Yeah, there's an arrow in the mid lane. Doctor is going to survive. He has to use every ability that he has. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Sponge is making his way in. There's the Pop Blossom. Hello, over, as he would say. And that is a very dead Poolbay. Once again.
It's going to be the mid lane turret going down here, so tough time in the end with the bot lane turret also going down. Definitely is going to be favorable here for DRX, but game is very different, very messy from the previous one. What we see there, though, and what I think will continue to be a problem for D+, is that the team fight from DRX is so strong. The amount of engage they have available between Pleta and then Satab and Sponge going in together, like, you don't really have any tools of dealing with this, because just a Braum ult just isn't going to do enough, as Poolbay just caught in a trap here, even as a ward, so it feels relatively safe. Nocturne ults him.
Doesn't even need to be a minion here, but the fact that he was, maybe. Yeah,
it's cute. And we'll see if D+ can maybe find a way and try and get any fight going, because if they keep going like this, not going to end up very well for them.
It's going to be really rough. I can't get this Eternum Nocturne and the Eternatus out of my mind right now.
The conspiracy?
Yeah, as Bon Bon has the same water fountain. They're really good, those fountains. They can be very difficult to clean, a lot of them, and they can get a little bit gross, but this one, pretty easy.
Lucid on the angle. They know that is
this
not a
minion in the river, as Pop Blossom's still going to fight too. Doesn't really matter who he's disguised as. The Ashe is just going to get obliterated. Thumb going to follow suit as well. And now DRX, they should be pretty guaranteed on this Dragon, but might be able to win more of a fight as well, as Poolbay looks to be the option. You can see Thanatos, difficult target here. And they look to try and lock down the Annie, but they're not going to be able to get there still. Drake going to be taken in the bottom lane. Oh man, it's always been a little bit of a problem for D+, you know, throughout their main roster and here in Challenger. But Rahel and Thumb are struggling to figure it out.
So, I think it's just the team play, though. Like, why are Thumb and Rahel alone? That's the real issue, because if there is no one else, you are going to get engaged and you're going to die. The Braum doesn't do anything in this scenario, right? And then Stockdom gets a really nice ultimate as Poolbay tries to stun him. More than ready. Really great Featherstorm there to keep himself on the offensive. Doesn't really give the opportunity for a turn here for D+. And DRX are team fighting a whole lot better, and unless rather D+ are able to kind of counteract for that, they're not going to win any of them, because the DRX Cup is, again, we see it every time. It's so straightforward. Well goes in, then you follow up with Sponge, and then Satab has so much freedom to actually get an ult off.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, Paranoia and Pop Blossom together were already just disgusting, but Magnet Storm on top of it, Big Croc coming in from the side, and Doc Darm feathers down. Oh, man. It's really tough, as Counter-Strike is now off cooldown. That is a time to kill the Jax, and they're going to be able to utilize it very, very nicely here.
They're trying to go for a counterplay. There is no Nocturne here.
Teleport available, no Paranoia though. This is going to have to be an honest 5v5.
They should get it, but can they get away?
There's the flashes in, the three-man Pop Blossom. It's immediately Poolbay that dies. Lucid wants to be able to secure the Baron, and he does so. Also manages to get a slam dunk on his way out, taxis his way through with a kill on the Crocodile, and Lucid, I think, is actually just going to be okay. Rahel running away from Sponge. And yes, there's a turret here, but is it actually going to be enough to save his life is the question. Is Rahel going to slow down the Sponge? And it's a beautiful little heist from D+.
You'll take it. I don't think you're really going to be able to use a lot of this offensive pressure, but at the very least, you get the counterplay to the bot side kill that they get, because they do invest a lot into killing Thanatos, and the teleport actually goes through as well. Now, unfortunately, Poolbay gets completely kaboomed here. Frog flashes on top of him. No opportunity for him to get out of the Pop Blossom. But then, this is actual unironical bronze value from actually...
Unironical?
I know. Actually keeping them alive for a really long time. Really... Oh, Thanatos might die again. Allowing him the opportunity to stay okay as... Oh, man, he's got... Oh, he's so
there are a lot... Bad guys detected. Bad guys... Oh, he's flashing! Looks for the Feather Storm, does Doc Darm. Pop Blossom has to be used, and oh my goodness, that was almost worth talking about. But in the end, it was Thanatos just getting destroyed. Gets... Okay. Gets the cleanse out of Doc Darm. There's that.
They have got to have known that was going to happen. Like, call me crazy, but there's zero reason...
You're crazy.
Thank you. I knew you were going to do that. Like, I don't know why else you would be that far up when you have full control of the bottom half of the map. Well, the other less forgiving interpretation would just be that Thanatos has lost his mind, but I prefer to be on the positive side of things.
Yeah. Can I call you Unironicla from now on?
Sure.
Because I think that's... Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
It just works.
Unironicla.
Yeah, I like it. I'm on board. I won't change my my handle, but you know, you can call me that. It's fine. I don't mind.
There's a lot of people in chat that are spamming Unironical, and I like it a lot.
Nice.
Unimonical. That's me right now. I don't have a monocle, so I am unimonical.
Sure.
I'm starting to lose it, Chronicler. I apologize.
I think the
just over the 15-minute, the 50% mark.
I think I think the 9-game dream won't happen. So I think you'll be okay.
Oh, what if we're already not okay?
Well, I can't do a whole lot about that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna try my best to hold it together. Do you know what's giving me a lot of energy? Yeah. Is the fact that when you post pictures of your cat, people reply with pictures of their cats, and that makes
so you're just looking at pictures. Yeah,
very happy.
I actually in the very friendly Discord we have one server or one part of the server that is dedicated to just pictures, and then even better, there is also when you post a picture of your cat, there is a response. Hold up.
Okay. Taking a fair bit of damage here as the bear comes down. Satab in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, the value from the thumb. Magnet Storm is a little bit late, but the Pop Blossom is still fantastic. I don't know whether it's going to be enough, though, because it's already started to go so poorly. And D+ finding themselves everything they need. That's going to be Thanatos getting the shutdown that he worked for himself. The reason that cleanse is not off cooldown is because Thanatos was there for it. And D+ are now going to take an inner turret. They'll take themselves an equalizing dragon and a gold lead. There it is.
So
I wish we were more cringe sometimes.
I don't. I'm loving this. So D+ have also seemingly realized that trying to not front to back is cringe. It's not cool. So instead, just front to back. They literally threw Annie and Ash Arrow just in whoever they can hit. Yep. Whoever's in the front. Throw everything on top of them, and then you kill them, and then they can't dive you. Easy. As Doc Darm, unfortunately, not going to be able to actually...
700 gold to Thanatos as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a swing.
Anyway, to finish up the thought, every time you post a picture, there was an emote in our server, or in the server, of Lunel's dog, and it's really cute, and you just spam that, so you just have like 10 dogs in a row.
You did show me this the other day, and it is very, very cute.
Oh yeah. Oh no, the dog is...
It is in fact a very friendly Discord.
It is, yeah.
There might be a reason for the name. As Lucid is now on the... maybe on the prowl of it.
Maybe dead.
Very dead.
Didn't stopwatch, so that's good. He'll be alive for Baron, but he will take a hit to his dignity.
Yeah. And to the tempo, I guess.
Yeah.
Of the team. Sometimes you just have, I think, Pink is fine. Mizu, kind of with you guys with the question marks. You know, you start just randomly talking about what you see on screen, and then you don't really see that it's just a disaster waiting to happen. That was me.
Wait, I've seen this happen before.
Yeah, we've seen this moment. Arrow going to hit. There is another ulti from Thumb. Another Tib is thrown this time onto nothing. But still, they kind of weather it. And another Thanatos getting a kill in the enemy Wolves camp area of the jungle. No, that doesn't happen. So Frog is able to get himself out, but still, it's going to result in an inner turret going over to D+. The plan is working, Chronicler. Put your buttons at whoever is somewhat close by, and even if you kind of miss, it's also fine.
We are watching D+ in real life realize that they just need to press either Tibbers, throw down Tiba, or throw an Ash ult at someone. That's it.
They did that as well.
They did. They do need to be careful, though, because Baron is live, and they are not ready for this whatsoever. That is a major oversight.
I would say that this is going in the cons column, as Thumb is going to be able to get in here.
Okay,
Lucid as well.
here.
Okay, never mind. This is going to be the 50-50, as a fake version of Satab will soar by. Here is the paranoia. Thumb's in decent position, though, and they engage onto Frog. That's a big ult from Satab, but where's the follow-up? It's a dead Crocodile, and now it's D+'s turn as they launch themselves in. It's a triple kill immediately for Thanatos, and I think we know where the votes are going to go, as the Baron is going to be picked up. Oh my goodness, he's going to... Is it a Penta?
Wait.
Is it? Oh, he does get
out.
feared, and so therefore they're going to have to chase after Sponge, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Baron is going to be secured, though, and D+, I mean, they're all but set up to head us towards game number 3. The turnaround, just beautiful in this game.
Really, really big moment here for D+. Able to take DRX that thought that it could go for a Baron opportunity here and completely wreck them. When everyone is stuck in this pit, they really want to make sure that Annie doesn't actually get on top of them, but there, Sponge is going in alone. And this is the one risk I think you do run that you really get used to with Nocturne is when you go in, your team follows.
Oh. My God!
Yeah, Lucid and Thanatos really...
The Counter-Strike and like, I'll just fight these guys, and then he's like, oh, but wait, there's 3,
There's
let's
more.
kill them all. Thank you for the scripture, everyone. I'm really glad that we now have access to it once again. The ancient texts have once again been unearthed.
I'm also 95%... I don't know if he actually had it, because he got the bot lane turret, right? And then he was at the fight. I think he got Shojin just before that as well. So literally coming off of 7 games Sandra.
7 games Sandra. Not 7 games Sandra. Any Aussies in chat remember Sandra Sully?
Jax gaat gedurende maximaal 2 seconden in evasion, een verdedigende houding, waardoor alle basisaanvallen tegen hem missen. Jax neemt ook 25% minder schade op van alle kampioensgebieden. That's not a word. Met effectvaardigheden, also not a word. Na 1 seconde kan Jax opnieuw activeren om het onmiddellijk te beëindigen.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So now everyone who only speaks Dutch in the chat now completely understands how Counter-Strike works.
Perfect.
Congratulations to those people.
I agree. Where's Chronicler? English mods ban this caster.
Stuck as well. Thank you very much. Yeah. What we need is like the auto mod thing to come up and say like, please only post in English.
Can we get 9 game? I think by the end of the day there will only be 9 game Nancy's in the chat.
Yeah. 9 game Nancy's? Oh, 9 game Nigel. feel like Mr. Thornberry understood that 9 games were the way to go.
I watched that show.
Amazing. Please only meme in English auto mod. No. Memes are allowed in any language.
Yeah.
Absolutely acceptable.
What about 8-game AdWords? If we're 8-game AdWords, you know, then Atlas gets to go home earlier. He's had a long week. That's completely fine.
Yeah. I'm okay with being an 8-game Andrew.
Yeah. I'm fine one way or another. But for my my coworker's sanity, you know, I'm fine being an 8-game Andrew.
I get a day off tomorrow. I get a day off tomorrow.
No, I know you do. But, you know, extra time is extra time.
True.
But no matter what will be, we'll be it together.
Whatever will be, will be.
We'll be it together. Why is Chronica talking like a sim? Hi, You know, when I was really young and I played The Sims, I thought that The Sims language was just French before my mother told me that was absolutely not the case. And it was fake. It was not a real language.
Says the Dutch guy. That's fantastic. I didn't play enough Sims to make the reference. I did play a lot of Banjo-Kazooie, and I just thought that they were saying words that I didn't understand.
That makes sense.
When Bottles was like...
Atlas, how can I learn Australian? Duolingo.
Yeah,
I think you have to
Duolingo
live
will
there.
work. Yeah,
Live there.
Live there. You could live there. You could also just push every word that you say out of your nose, and then you'll basically get there. It's pretty much how it works. So yeah, you start doing that, and then you're gonna get there.
So,
what's your best?
D+
Can you do your best Grunty
won...
impression? Grunty from Banjo-Kazooie.
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Chronicler, would you remote cast Elite Series for a giggle? I would cast remote, if not for the fact that it's way too late for me. It's beyond my sleepy time. By like a significantly large margin, unfortunately.
Wait, what do you... Elite Series?
Yeah, it's the where I used to work. Before, when you guys snatched me up.
Sniped.
Yep, sniped. All the
Have
way
you
from
ever
Korea.
thought that you could still be back there, living the good life?
I have no response to that. I have not. No. I mean, I love living in the Netherlands, but being an LCK caster was also my dream of like 10 years. So I'm fine. You know, I wasn't too bothered.
You weren't too perturbed. You haven't given it much thought.
No, it was fine.
No.
Yeah.
Wong? Wow, they have this.
They have. Yes, he is named after. He's named after.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you meant
he's
that,
a man.
he's actually
he's a man
there.
of culture.
I'm like, I was pretty sure he retired.
Yeah, no. Wong is not casting in Dutch in the Dutch and Belgian league.
He was a talented guy. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
You never know. DRX are kind of milling about. We do have an 8,000 gold lead that's kind of popped up.
End the game, but they can definitely take their time because I don't actually think that the composition skills poorly at all. Especially at some point with Ashe, you kind of hit the point where killing her becomes basically impossible. You have humongous level leads across the board, most notably in mid lane. That's 3 levels. Is a rough one.
Insane.
Yeah.
Poolbay's kind of been a punching bag this whole game, and yet he is 3
also
levels ahead.
Yeah, it's really interesting how that works.
Well, actually, no, he wasn't 3 levels ahead. He's now 6 levels ahead.
Okay, but I don't think that.
But he's only a level.
Oh,
he's
now it is only a level. Yeah, now I'm like,
because
the
level number, but the icon doesn't change. It's actually it's very troll.
I've been trolled by that. I should not still be getting trolled by that, but it's happened like multiple times.
Yeah. So Nico, Satab is either 6 levels behind, 1 level behind, 3 levels behind,
But on the flip side, you know, DRX can also just win the game by getting a multi-man Satab ult and Docdom popping off.
Oh, 100%.
So D+ do need to be a little careful. I do think in a position like this, I have a little bit more faith in D+ because they've been in positions like this a lot with this team.
There's also more of Malmortius and a Banshee's Veil and a few items that give magic resist, and there is no pen on Satab at all.
Okay.
As Frog is just trying to fight Thanatos here and struggling a little. As we can see. Oh, is this the angle? Here it is. Magnet Storm comes in. The immediate destruction of the bottom lane. And look, if in doubt, just go back to what used to work. And that's kind of what used to work in this game as DRX. They will take down the bottom lane. There is still a Jax problem.
They need to deal with Jax, yeah.
The Jax solution isn't leave Renekton there to die to the Jax, but maybe the other solution is race?
Oh yeah, we race. Absolutely.
Maybe that's what we're going to go for. Is okay, Frog is desperately trying to keep himself alive. I don't know whether he's going to be able to do it. Okay, Tibbers is here.
Oh my
and
god,
now with a whole bunch of members, they are just going to attack these Nexus turrets.
Oh!
They're trying to buy as much time as they can. The Frog, is he going to be able to get pull bait? That would be a lot of time that they're going to buy as the Nexuses are going down, and it's D+ that's secured in the end. The base race to end it all.
That must have been like a few seconds away.
Oh, that's within. That's got to be within a second. That's within a second. We 9-game Nigel in Chronicler!
9-game Nigel! How do you lose your AD carry and support, which again, oh, wow.
That's their win condition.
They learned. Okay, well, I guess we gotta vote.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know who to vote for. That part's not too hard.
But there was that guy.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm voting for Thanos.
Yes, good. So, we have a replay. I hope we get both. So, Rahel and Fum should have learned the lesson that they're gonna try and engage with you. That's the win column. Like, if you are with other people, you are fine. If not, you will die. But crucially here, the TP from Frog actually ends up losing the game, which is kind of crazy to me, because I think if he TPs back to the turret and he just is a little bit faster, he might be fine. I mean, the presence of mines for pull bait to also TP in there.
I think if Frog doesn't teleport though, they just insta-die. They insta-lose, don't they?
No.
Or do they need to teleport two people back?
No, Frog teleported to the fight that they'd already won, to Baron.
Oh.
And then I want to see the health on their Nexus.
Bonk.
As I don't know if...
we tried to
I'm sure you know what will tell us. You know what will tell us. Sure.
I think it was pretty low. Look at that Jax damage. Man,
yeah,
I mean,
Saints up shooter based, but it's
I mean, it's hard to know. Yeah. And DRX just kind of felt like if they weren't going to win in that moment, then they weren't going to win. And I think that's kind of fine, I guess, to have that sort of idea. But, I mean, this was a wacky game. What are we giggling?
A good old spring, LCK CL Spring 2029, Game 21, also known as the fall of Noctrell. Despite them overcoming the matriarch of the land, Annie, they still lose the wall. Adapted in the Academy Award-winning film Hoofs and All, starring Tom Hanks as Rel's horse.
Don't you mean Tom Hanks as Rel's pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the traveling pants thing. I think it's really funny. So every time D+ win with a Jax, you know who taught them this lesson? That you just keep pushing. You know who had this. You know why D+ won this game. It's just because in their minds, standing in the back, giggling, is the dun-dun. 1 in 7. Doesn't matter if you just lost, hit the Nexus.
If Jax is there, the Nexus will fall. D+ knew this. They absolutely knew this. We do want to see the HP of the other Nexus, but you know we'll be able to get that info.
I'm sure
to us, I think. And even if we don't get it now, we will be able to get it in a little bit. So we can let you guys know. But man, what an impressive performance. Just give Thanatos his POG already. Come on.
Yeah. When is Proxy coming out? Wednesday? Or tomorrow night?
Yeah, it should be a couple of days.
Yeah, no, because I think it's Delta Tower. Everyone in chat spam Delta Tower at 129. No, I really have to. I think that playing Ashe and Braum, it's really important. It's really hard, or Ashe specifically, into that comp, right? Yeah. But the key thing is when you die, and you are allowed to die when you get dove like that if you are behind the rest and they can do damage. But that positioning from Rahel, I think Fum wasn't really to blame, because obviously he should try and save. But from Rahel, almost lost in the game. But Delta Tower, 129 men, was there.
He was
had
there.
40% of the damage share, Atlas. 40%.
40% as a Jax. He did so much. Like the damage to champion was
550.
500.
There was a full item Zaya there. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, that's 2 autos, right?
So a single auto, I think, from Zaya.
Is it even more than that?
Sorry?
The single auto onto
If it
the
crits,
Nexus.
yeah.
That's a lot.
If it crits, it should be fine. But anyone else, yeah, 1 or 2 autos. Actually, 1 or 2 autos was the difference. Oh my god.
Sometimes you just have to believe. You just have to believe. Jax is just giga broken, who cares? I don't know about that one, Mr. Bloodmaster 1. We've seen Jaxes lose before.
A lot.
And, you know, we also saw an Eco just lose as well. We're going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, the coveted game number 3. We'll see you then. Good howdy, everyone. And after a very one-sided and pretty elementary victory there for D+ Kia, we now move ourselves to game number 3, right, Chronicler?
Yeah, I really appreciated their mid-to-late game team fighting. I think they did a really good job, in particular, of controlling the space and ensuring that they got a free and undeterred ride straight to their enemy team's Nexus. Now, did they give up some objectives while that was happening? Yeah, but in a perfectly calculated trade, it wasn't even close.
Just sacrifice a couple of Nexus turrets and take your enemy's Nexus. It's basically how it goes.
You have checks. What are the odds of you losing?
That's how you do it. So it's pretty understandable. We're going to have a look at the final fight here and just observe how not close it was. As we see, the engage will happen onto Rahel and Thumb.
Yeah, I'm also wondering, like, what makes Rahel move forward here? Doesn't need to put the either. Fleta finds the engage, right? They get the 100-0 on both these two guys. So that is the start that you're looking for. This is the TP I was talking about, the TP for Frog.
TP's in here.
Because if Frog is there for a few extra seconds, it also gives him the opportunity to actually blow up this wave. And then we'll take a look at the... Because we didn't actually get to see the DRX part of this.
No.
So they just push 4 people, deny access to the wave.
Yep, this is observing Full Day getting the teleport in. He does that safely from his own jungle.
So they are unaware, not able to actually get to him. And then obviously with the Tibbers actually wins the game there, because Tibbers keeps the cannon minion safe.
Yeah.
So they don't get backdoor protection. Then, crucially there, even though it doesn't actually do that much initially, they're able to get the, or Pool Bay, sorry, Lucid is able to just CC Dokdam for a split second. And that ult on Dokdam might have hit, the literally like split second knock up, that might have been it.
Wait, was the flash reset? Does flash reset your auto? I don't know.
I think it's Empower usually for Jax at this point
I know.
in the game.
Oh my god. It was actually,
health.
yeah,
It was literally
557, and it's actually just one auto. Oh my god. So extraordinarily close. Man.
So they knew from the get-go as soon as they set up the play.
It does. So Flash does.
It does, yeah, there you go.
So maybe if he doesn't flash,
then they don't get the
then
kill.
They don't get Surely. That's actually so cool. If that's actually how it happened and that mattered, then that's actually the coolest way to win a game. And also the coolest way to like keep them in a game as well.
Yeah, because now we're gonna go to game game 3. Man, I swear every single time that I've had a DRX versus D+, it always delivers.
Yeah, that is actually so sick. Because like obviously Empower, like that resets your auto, but that only resets one of the autos, right? And so if you can also flash to reset another one, oh my god. Oh my god. Woo! Okay.
Literally a single auto of Zaya would have done it.
Yep.
I'm still
I don't know, man.
wow.
I don't know. Whatever.
Even a Nico auto at that point in the game actually does a lot of damage.
And he had Death Cap as well. So
yeah, his autos would.
Nico was not actually doing that much damage to champions, right? Because they were getting full value out of their magic resist, but the turrets don't get so lucky.
Well, you know, we might have 4 more.
Yeah, so... you know, like this was actually the most work for an observer that has happened in a game so far in Challenger. So, and well, actually, no, you know, it's fine because we saw you had a nap during the first game in this series.
So we actually got report from what happened. If you were there since the beginning, 1, you're based. Secondly, what happened is at some point we had a little drift off where stuff was happening in say like around the Dragon Baron area. Or sorry, Baron River area. So like between the brush, you know, from mid lane to Baron.
Yeah.
But the camera was just very slowly, casually heading towards the pit.
To bot lane, yeah.
So what ended up happening was the mouse and keyboard just malfunctioned. So they had to like replug that. But that was the live observer PC. Like the one that you don't, if it's a replay or something, it's like, eh. Yep. But it was the actual one.
I was actually commentating it was IWCQ, which was the promotion of wildcard teams to Worlds. I was observing because we had to cast and then we come off, the next pair goes on, and then the casters observe. Because we just didn't have that many people in OCE back in the day. It was 5 a.m. That we started, that I started observing this one game, and we'd been up casting since 11 p.m. that night, or something like that. And I actually just passed out.
You fell asleep?
I just fell asleep. And that exact same thing happened. It looked exactly the same when I did it. And do you know how I woke up? My producer turns around and throws a pen at the back of my head. And then I wake up and then I go back to observing. That exact moment happened in esports.
Perfect.
It was gorgeous. So when I saw that drift, I'm like, I know that drift. I've been there before.
It makes complete sense as well. I can see that.
This makes complete sense also.
There we go. There we go. The immediate Jax ban.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Oof. Yeah, and if you're wondering who's going to win, it's 100% 50-50 for me. Because I think that
it's
DRX...
It's a 100% chance that it's one of these teams.
Yes, I think that DRX have looked better, but this is also a team of young players that just got 1 auto away from winning a game, and then got... This is the closest game that I've casted since the... and it wasn't casted, but I was on the desk for that one, the EDG Deft one. Where like the single auto with the Nexus with the inhibitor respawn.
Yep.
Which, you know, then went on to reverse sweep, which was no biggie. Definitely not a special moment at all.
Wow.
Birthday.
Imagine if Jax gets banned, but then somehow they pick Jax in all 5 roles. That is actually like,
True.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That would be kind of
happen.
crazy if that happened. I reckon we'd probably let that game play out as well. Man, that would be a lot of Arabic in chat.
So we go Sejuani and Lucid is a time for Renekton.
Oh
It would be so D+, and it actually does completely
would be
boot
kind of into it.
Sejuani.
I think Thanatos picking Renekton here would be a great thing.
You know our collective opinion, chat, on LeBlanc. So it's LeBlanc Lee.
It's LeBlanc
which
Lee,
I think...
Well, LeBlanc Renekton and then Lee
yeah,
is the
I think LeBlanc Lee is specifically, I still like. It's like the one combo where I'm like, the LeBlanc actually still has value. That's the one. The only one that I've seen where I'm like, this still does something pre 2 items, and our LeBlancs don't even do that much at 2 items anymore. Oh, well, Sejuani Azir is always a sour taste, right?
And Na comes in next, and you're like, no! For the ultra sadness. I think that maybe an 80 carry will come in here. Kai'Sa's still up and available, kind of crazy. And Docdom has looked great on the Xayah, even if they lost game 2. I think that that would still be a worthwhile shot here. We'll see what they do decide to lock in. Might be wanting to avoid showing it a little bit too early, as that is at least Cassante, so you do have some permafrost synergy for the top side of the map. Triple Shuriman as well, which I'm kind of into. And now, is Lucid just going to lock away Lee Sin?
Triple Shuriman. Oh, because of the Renekton.
Yeah.
Makes sense. As Lucid on a carry, I am excited for that. That always makes me a very happy man. Lucid has been...
It was always going to be.
It was always going to be. I was building up to it, but we know. It's Lucid. And in game number 1, hey, look at him. He's smiling. Knows that he has to do a better job than game number 1, where he kind of baited Fum in. And Fum, again, your first series in whichever league you're called up to, you get a mulligan.
Oh, 100%.
It's about the next one. But him nor Rahel have been looking too hot. And I'm pretty confident to say that Docdom and Plata is the best bot lane at the moment in the LCK.
I would agree.
Or in Challengers, rather. In the LCK, I would not make that statement.
Docdom is pretty good at Aphelios, and they ban it. That's a smart idea.
It's very macho. Yeah. We'll see what it ends up being. Might just ban
Did you say very much so or very macho?
Very much so.
Okay, got it.
If you want me to say very macho, I can do that as well.
Nice.
I can also
think
say...
banning Varus would be very macho, because that's like a lot of dudes.
I agree.
In one dude.
It is, yeah. Very confusing. I don't know where they landed on the lore after like the 15 retcons they've done. As it's Rakan.
I think it's now 11 dudes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think that's how it is. It's just like, it's pretty much a school bus. Like, just full of dudes.
Okay. So, D+, I imagine want to pick Ashe here again? Specifically because of the fact that they don't have Engage. You know, like Varus Nautilus here might not be bad either.
Yeah, Nautilus is going to be banned. So I like the ban. I think DRX thinking a similar direction to you. I think having a bit of added Engage would be good. Do you pick away the Xayah? I'm not too...
I don't think Xayah's good in this draft.
Smearl.
Actually, the angle. Yeah, you pick Rel here.
Smearl is the angle. That's the dream. Nah.
Might also want to not give away... Because imagine if DRX have...
Picking
Ashe
here could be a brash
Braum.
decision.
I don't like this new thing where you abbreviate everything. Ashe is still a champ. I think the Ashe the Ashe unenjoyment is a little bit overblown. I think that obviously she doesn't provide as much DPS as some other AD carries. Or burst mostly. DPS I think is fine. But the utility she provides I think is still very valuable. As it is going to be special.
Bit of the Ezreal? The Ezreal? The gel? Oh, Zell. Not into that. I want gel! Give me the gel! Let's go! Hey, there it is. All right.
It's gel.
I mean, it's either Rex or gel. Which one do you want?
Rex.
Rex?
I'm a big fan of, I'm a big Xenoblade 2 enjoyer.
Oh, yes.
You should have known I was going to lead up to that one.
No, fair enough.
So, for fun, are you confident in your Alistar? Because that is the angle. alternatively,
People like
do you
want
wanna play Janna and be my hero?
Oh.
Because the Janna angle here is amazing. I think the Alistair makes the most sense, and Thumb will be picking that one up. Costers,
you got
please
me
stop.
excited.
Costers. It's Atlas. I'm not doing the combination thing.
What?
Why? Because they're saying please stop with the abbreviations of champions.
No, they were just telling you to stop being negative about the abbreviations. I think that's what it was. So they're saying please stop when you're like just yelling at them.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the last part where it says please stop, Chronicler. You're being
Let's
mean
show
to
them a
Atlas.
thing or three. There we go.
Costers, please stop. Don't everyone don't.
Get down! Oh man, you remember when they?
Oh wait, no, maybe it wasn't. I still. This is so
No, you were-
open for interpretation.
No, you were actually right. But it's
No,
fine.
well, I don't know. Chronicler, continue.
Chronicler,
Costers, please continue. Oh, chat. No. Who won draft, chat? Do you believe in
They
execution?
weren't asking you.
Well, no, actually true. Yeah, I'm not going to give you an answer. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, Ramyo has asked chat. And chat, can you let us know as well? Because I have no idea. I think that
I was ramping
champions
up
have
to
been picked on both sides. Take it away.
I was really setting me up for that one. I love it when play-by-plays really set up their callers for
Everyone get in here.
and analytical points. Dana already pulled that one out earlier. You still had it like in the notepad at the ready.
Still got that
So
one.
D+ is going to stomp early, or they'll lose the game. It's very straightforward. Run everything over, win the early game, set up sideline pressure with your 1-4, or bust. You lose, DRX take the series, and D+ are at the risk of slowly dropping further and further, and maybe even losing their first place.
Yeah,
Now,
they are only a couple of
it's
wins
like-
ahead right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be overtaken by Hanwha, or by anyone but Hanwha, though.
True. But let's rock out. Ooh, fan chants coming in, and we hitting the doo-doo-doos right after.
I think we and the fan chants can coexist. I think we can be mixed into a perfect mix of doo-doo-doing and
Yeah.
fan chants. I think it's possible. I don't think we should believe the people that say that that is not a thing. That
I would
is
even
one
go
or
so
the
far
other.
as to say that the relationship will be symbiotic
I agree.
between the two. I think
Yes.
we're only going to add a bit of extra spice to the chants.
A strong fan chant is a strong doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. How do you feel about mega nerfed Shiv LeBlanc?
Bad.
I
don't like
also
it.
feel somewhat negatively
I don't like
towards
it. I really... So, I do think that in this specific game, I actually don't mind it because I think it's good. My main issue that
Oh, that is Flashpolt. The thumb! The thumb! I mean, it didn't work. They lost the trade. But, oh!
Hey, you got sums on Knockdown. That's actually really big. That sets up for Lucid.
Would have been
in a
100%
large
worth
way.
if he took
Oh, it's the wrong
the
skin.
Hex
Oh,
Flash.
he doesn't have Hex Flash. Ooh, that is big, actually.
Yeah.
So, no, because what I want to highlight, I think this LeBlanc build works exclusively when you're ahead. And with this draft, if you're not ahead, like, who cares? So, like, in this... and I think the nerfs are, on this patch, not too bad. Next patch, I do think that they actually killed the build, outside of, like, ADs actually picking it. But in this specific scenario, with this draft, you need to play extremely high tempo. I think the Shiv will actually provide you a lot of opportunity to do so. And if it doesn't work, which is my expectation because I really don't rate the build, then that would make sense as... Well, you know what? Could have been 5-2, but he won the game.
Hey, there you go. It was all him. It was all
There's
Rahel.
Also no Nocturne playing into this time around, so he should have a better time with not dying.
A little bit less sad, yeah.
Yeah.
As, ooh, gonna miss the chain, and so Tab will be alright.
No LCK English cast TikTok. Have you seen the TikTok live thing where they... I don't know if you have...
The one where they just...
The ice cream
they're
so
NPCs?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really... It's not good.
You know, I was lacking... Like, I didn't have very much faith in humanity before knowing that that exists.
I
Like,
think it's,
imagine where it is now. Like,
No, I think it's really funny. I think it's just a classic internet thing that is going to go away in like a few months. But for the time being,
no, but the fact that
very
it ever
funny.
existed is really... Isn't it depressing?
People like all types of stuff. You know, people like ASMR videos. Those are not for me. Cleanup videos. Videos where people just like neatly clean out an apartment.
I mean, I like that. You understand where the dopamine comes from.
No, I get that. But you know, for other people, this is what gives them the dopamine. I don't get it. Personally, that's not my Sponge. Still unspotted, but there's not really an angle here, so I don't know how much value you're going to get out of that.
Yeah, this is feeling like a bit of bristle dressage right now. It's not really farming the jungle, as Lucid is going to face check him, and he does take some popcorn chickens. Still,
level up.
Lucid going in, level 4, like you're talking about, as he does just safeguard after him. There goes the aftershock, and now the fight onto Pleta is going to ensue. D+ actually capitalizing beautifully on the bottom side as well. Thumb and Rahel getting in there. Pleta crashing down. And D+, this is about as front foot as we wanted from this stage of the game.
Yeah, this is really, really important, right? The fact that Poolbay is also setting up more vision, so they're going to keep track of where Sponge is. Sponge now doesn't have his flash available either. Fenix is really saving that trade, because initially did not look that good. And with Doctor not having flash, I mean, in general, I don't think you really want to go for the early 3v3 in that scenario, but it's like just not even remotely possible, as Poolbay is initially fine.
Okay, gonna have to flash. There's the flash from Satab, and he gets a solo. Okay.
Emperor of Shurima showing up.
Huh. Poolbay looked like everything was fine, and then it was really not fine.
Yeah. And you're not supposed to win the long trades, but I guess that's the conqueror value right there. Satab extending that basically infinitely.
Chapter back as well. Gorgeous.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in a really good spot now. So Poolbay does. It's not even like he takes a turret shot. He just takes way too many soldier autos, right? Like look, getting hit by like 2-3 soldiers the whole time. Then by the time he flashes, way too late. Clone also not fooling anyone.
Yeah, maybe if, like, because Satab looked a bit strange going for that, but then realizing that Poolbay's cooldowns were down.
Cooldowns are down. It's also a an attack or a longsword LeBlanc, so like she's not actually that strong outside of autoing you specifically. The skills are kind of whatever. And then you also have Conqueror, so in the longer trades, you stay alive for just a little bit longer. And that means that the gold lead of 40+, still looking pretty minimal. Now, one solo kill, not going to be the deciding factor, but it makes the lane so much easier when you have a chapter this early on. We'll see if Poolbay can still generate enough prio.
This is the thing that you were talking about earlier, though, right? If the Shiv LeBlanc isn't in an advantageous position, then it's way worse.
Yeah. So
and now he's losing. So I don't. You can do the math. So it's really
the one. I think it's more so about the map state than specifically the 1v1, because as long as obviously being ahead is better, but just you need to get Shiv as soon as possible, and then you need to have a map state where you can leverage the fact that you can auto shove waves into pressure on objectives. So I think that in the ideally you'd be ahead, but as long as the rest of the map is doing fine, which right now is still the case, you're going to be okay. As soon as you lose map control, I think the build just... Because I think we all got fooled because we had that one Showmaker game. And then we were like, oh, you can win fights with this, and like it just does everything. Yeah. And then we have literally not have a single game, even from Showmaker after that, where it was nearly... didn't feel as impactful.
And there can be angles. This is, I think this is a great point that was brought up in chat as well by Buckets and Gloves, saying it's going to be Shiv Mercs as well, which puts it behind even further. If you can build some Sork shoes, then at least the Shiv proc starts to do a little bit more for you as well.
Yeah.
But Mercs just feels like 0 damage to enemy champions.
Yeah, no, you're legitimately, your goal is going to be to go to side, shove in wave, and then be first on a play. Just have a advantage, but it is relying on the rest of the team doing stuff. Now, D+, fortunately for them, have only good souls remaining, because a Cloud Soul, super valuable, Infernal or Hextech are basically guarantees that you'll be able to actually leverage your pressure at all. Ocean Soul, I think, is the lowest one, but still not the end of the world. Actually helps with side laning a lot. So you got, you know, 2, let's say 3, because you're here. 3 amazing options, and then 1 that's a little bit subpar.
Yep. Well, you have 1 extraordinary option.
Which is Cloud.
Yeah, 3 that are okay, and then 1 that's subpar, yep. So quite a few. The Mountain would have been okay, but that one's been taken already.
But for DRX fans, this is to be expected.
Oh yeah, don't be panicking at all.
Not at all. It just becomes a question of whether this is, because we've seen drops like this play out where the D+, you know, against KT is a good example where you get the early lead, right? And then the one fight goes wrong. This was also against an Azir, actually, coincidentally. Someone needs to answer this. This is way too much minions and plates that are being given over. Really, really rough there. Not sure what is happening there. Fan is on his way now. Big overset from D+.
Yeah,
but you also...
Oh man, if Frog can actually just get him out of here.
Nah, I don't think he can, because he doesn't know where the jungle is.
Yeah.
So, but then you also the flip side, which was Brion against T1, where the early game, like they just completely took over. Because T1 had a really good late game with, what was it, like Jace, Kai'Sa, Gangplank?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Maokai, right? So if you get to late, it's like, oh, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, the amount of poke.
And then they just lost before. So we're going to get one of those two. Right now, I think DRX fans are feeling probably a little more comfortable. We'll see what the Herald can do and what the actual Drake ends up being.
I think that solo kill is really, really important here for DRX. I think if Satab had have lost out on that one, and someone was going to die in that exchange, like as soon as that that shifting sands comes in from Satab, he is committed, right? And so very, very important here for Satab and DRX in general to be able to grab that and ensure some added tempo. Still, the Drake's starting to fall in favor of D+, and we'll see whether that continues as Thumb here to protect his mid laner. Player going to be moving back. Noon Quiver done, as Lucid is going to find a kickback on to Doctarm, who flashes to get out of the way of the arrow. Not hit by that one, but still has to use the cleanse. And so good start to some aggression potentially on this bottom side.
Yeah, I think the arrow can be timed there so that you guarantee it, right? As Pullblade does not hit the chain, but it might have been a bait. Thumb is there.
He's doing a lot of things. There's the flash headbutt Pulv. He's got the ignite ticking. Is it going to be enough though? As Satab's going to burn down, and Thumb, it was just calculated. He might have done the math on his hand, but that's why he's called Thumb.
He's just that smart, able to get himself a kill. Doesn't even have to pretend that he tried to give the Pool Bay. That's his. He worked hard for it. Some much needed gold going into Pool Bay here, guaranteeing that he actually does get his shift finish and kind of offsetting, as you were saying, the early gold lead that was generated. Also setting up for a pretty good Drake here. And Pool Bay, you know, you would much rather just hit the chain so that you just have set up no matter what, but ends up working out nonetheless, even with the shuffle. Yeah, Ignite, you're just too low already from the combo.
Unfortunately,
you're taken down.
Yeah, and Sponge didn't take Smite heal.
It's
normally obviously the way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually there to help out. So really nicely done there by D+, getting themselves back an advantage in this mid lane.
I've become so thumb. That's amazing.
Rip
Love
Chester,
that.
but absolutely love it.
It's really good. That's Pool Bay.
All right. Okay. So the LeBlanc does have to flash.
Wait.
And now Lucid going to come in. Gets the kickback. That is going to disengage. And DRX almost had it there. Super Mega Death Rocket flying through the double global bottom lane, I just realized. It's going to be a little bit fun to see these projectiles try and find some value. As Pool Bay not going back. Does have some honey fruit available, and now Doctarm moving away
really
towards
cute.
the rest of his team.
Thumb was like walking up to auto it, and then Pool Bay autoed it, and Thumb was like running away so he wouldn't pick up any of the fruit. He's like, no, that's for you. Teleport is available there. There is a deep TP ward, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. What is going to be the Drake? Hextech or Inferno are the front runners.
It's going to be Cloud, baby!
It's going to be Cloud.
Okay, we've got a real dragon on our hands here. A lot of extra speed around this map as well to up the ante, create the action.
So, still good, but not immediately game-winning for D+. I think Hextech or Inferno, once you pick those up, it becomes really hard to lose. Cloud is a thinking man's dragon. You need to know how to utilize it.
And these are some of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And We just saw the calculations done by Thumb.
And we saw the calculations in the base race. You know you win the base race if you have Soul, easy, not even close.
A cerebral Soul, exactly. Sci-fi miscellaneous. And Pulbe, I mean, it's a bit unfortunate there for Sponge, as it does still get damage, as Pulbe goes back to his distortion and gets hit by the end portion of the Glacial Prison damage.
If Plata actually is able to get out of the queue, he just dies. Definitely enough of a window there. Not going to be the case. Pulbe getting away with that one. Not still not the most convincing of performances from the mid laner of the Plus here. Has been not looking at his best, but still has a Shiv. Should be getting parked in the sideline soon. We'll see. Because I do think that DRX is not going to be able to really fight over this up-and-coming Drake. Well, they might, but I don't think they should.
Yeah.
Given that there is a very, very mad Crocodile that has Gore Drinker and level 2 Dominus. And that is a power spike that I don't think you want to risk and you really want to mess with. As Pulbe doesn't have TP though, so they might give it up. D+ here, which would be interesting. Would give them first turret blood.
Okay, I've got a spoiler warning.
Okay.
Antagon has come back from the future, and he says that Bro will beat T1 at the regional qualifiers, and will be the 4th team going to Worlds and beat everyone upwards and 3-0 JDG at the finals with a pentakill from Morgan's Renekton.
Yeah, that seems legit. I believe that. That makes sense to me. And
you know how like sometimes you get spoiled and you're like, oh, now I just don't want to watch. I hear that spoiler and I'm like, I am more excited for Worlds.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
incredible.
right there with you. As we do have the Herald being taken, but the gold is still going to be very favorable for the Plus because they got the first turret blood. So you're going to be happy.
Yep, there it is.
And
2,000
Sponge
in the lead.
on an angle. I don't think they lead enough though. They really need to start setting up for that soul point for possibly another Drake, because otherwise they're going to be in the best positions. As Pulbe knows that Sponge is there because there is a giant crab in his...
The Void creature, a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, I'd say that even the less astute of detectives could figure that one out.
Yeah, true. You don't need to be Sherlock for that one.
No. Not even Hercule Poirot, you know?
Hercule from Dragon Ball Z. I didn't like that part of the Cell Saga, the Hercule bit.
I never watched Dragon Ball, right?
I know.
We had this conversation before. Eventually, this is the thing, which is also what I think was one of my favorite parts of listening to Tasteless and Artosis, because they costed so much. Eventually, everything just circled back to itself.
True.
Because you already know, like, because you've already told each other everything. Eventually, you run out of facts. Spulbe.
All right.
Is okay
some
for now.
chains coming in. This time, the prison is going to connect. Lucid coming on over. The Magnet Storm value. Kind of absurd onto what looks like 3, but there were only 2 here. The teleport comes in, and Thanos is wondering where he parked his car, and he parked it right on top of an Azir. And he's going to die. Dr. I'm still able to grab that kill, but I mean, at least there's one back there for D+. Still, not the greatest if you're required to snowball. And now Dr. has double buffs, and he's traveling towards an inner turret.
So, really big moment for DRX there. And, they can't even get the turret. That's really important, because getting that turret, I think, would have made it not worth in the slightest. But at least there would be an okay trade, right? Something that you can benefit from a little bit. And it's just really good map play here from DRX, recognizing that Pulbe is going to play aggressively. He doesn't have his flash available, so unable to get away here from the Glacial Prison. Then the ultimate comes through from Dokdam to guarantee with the splash damage the kill. And then, Thanatos trading 1-for-1. I think you'd rather have a 2-for-0 than a 3-for-1 in that one, because it does mean that more minions are going to go into the turret. Now gold will be only 1k 40+. We'll see. Their fighting, I think, is still very strong. See, as they're not even going to go for Drake. I actually don't mind that if they can hold on to mid, which right now not looking too hot.
They do lose the mini wave, and so Lucid with this split push angle in a weird position. Still, it's going to be the tower falling in favor of Pulbe.
Wow.
Yeah, DRX looking to grab this shove. And look at this. They're going to wipe out minion waves in bot and top lane.
Yeah, I actually think this is better than trying to 5v5. which is crazy to me, but like this is probably the best way to use this LeBlanc.
Especially if you
Forces
get towards
TP.
a steal angle, as Lucid looking for it. The arrow is going to connect on the enemy jungler. Down to about 2k, but they don't have vision anymore. So the Cloud Drake going to be secured here by DRX.
Now we're fighting.
Yeah, looking for the
Remember up.
teleport in. Okay, I don't know about that one from Poolbay, but he will survive for the moment. Still, the all-out comes in. Frog, now without his resistances, is going to be taken down low. The Lee Sin has already gotten rid of Doctorm, though. And now, Frog's still running away from this one, trying to get himself back towards the safety of the turret, as Thanatos not going to be able to get up to him. So, they do manage to clear out Doctorm. The Drake is taken, so they're going to deny the stacking, but it is still a larger lead for D+ in the end.
Bit of a messy one there. It looked first like it was a great play from D+, then it looked like it fizzled out, and then with the teleport it looked good again, but then Poolbay almost died, so a lot of roller coaster of emotions there. You do see Satan actually getting really aggressive, trying to deny the teleport, but because DRX already retreating, Poolbay doesn't actually contribute meaningfully to this fight. But with the kick and the damage getting onto Doctorm, because the position of the fight isn't that good for DRX, they're still able to get a lot going. And without your Jinx, this composition lacks damage. If you can take on Jinx or Azir at the beginning of a fight, it's free tanks, right? So D+ able to still get a decent amount of offensive pressure, and I think this is gonna be how they continue playing. I think they actually don't care about the Dragon Stack at all. I think they're just gonna be looking to split push. And given, you know, the 5v5 of DRX, I don't think that's a bad call.
Just want to remind people that positivity is what you really want to go for. It's not going to be a permanent ban, but you're just going to be banned
You can
for the
have
rest of the
measured
broadcast.
criticism.
Measured
but,
criticism is fine, but
not
just,
that. Yeah.
just being ultra negative is not it. You can definitely offer some criticism, or saying things like, "Oh, the play could have been better there."
Could have been improved. Yes. You can also flame us. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ban people for that. That would be not cool.
Well, I mean, I'd ban someone if they flamed you. But if they flame me, I wouldn't ban. Because
then
you know, that's not my place. Like, what if it's true?
But then you would rely on me to ban them, because that's...
Oh, absolutely. And I'd tell you to ban them. But I'd do it secretly.
Chronicle has potential. That was one. That's good.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Slightly older, still checks out. As Poolbay over the wall. Oh, tempted by the honey fruit, but it's not a bait. Sponge not wanting to opt into that one with only Pleta alongside him.
Poolbay really does not care. He should. He should care. I think caring is important, guys. You should care about what happens. But Huni in particular has been the most outspoken about not enjoying it when split push champions go and try to 5v5.
I thought you were going to mention Scorch on Rumble.
Also that, yeah. But that's an example of this right here. The one thing I would preferably swap, but they can't right now, is put Poolbay in the bot lane, because it's a lot harder to collapse onto this LeBlanc, but he doesn't have TP yet. So you need to put Thanatos down in case the DRX try and set up a play towards the Baron. We'll see though, because Frog has his TP available as well. I wouldn't mind it if D+ just start up Baron in an attempt to force out TPs, then peel back off, which can be a little hard. DRX have a really good engage, as they are suspicious.
Yeah, and this is actually a good confirmation here for DRX as well, of the fact that there is no vision for DRX in this area.
Yeah.
The idea is keep these waves shoved in, keep denying vision, find that Baron angle that you will be able to get. 22 minutes into this game, the Ashe doesn't have Trinity Force completed just yet, but will on this back. And so a lot of extra damage now available.
Yeah, this is where the game gets broken one way or another. Either DRX completely stabilize, right? They're able to either steal the Baron, win the team fight, deny the Baron push, or D+ start setting up a 1-3-1 with a Shiv LeBlanc and a Baron.
Yeah.
In which case, yeah, you have good wave clear, but you're not going to be able to chew for all that. 2-item spikes, hit now here. We'll see, as DRX have set up position here. TP is available for Thanatos.
Moving back in as Frog, we're going to watch him take this Krug camp out.
Oh. Very important. You have to know.
Ouch. Thwack. Wham. Kablamo. And there goes the... hope you guys didn't mind the onomatopoeias. I was just trying for something new.
We are ramping up to another microwave moment, aren't we?
Well, potentially, yeah. I think I'm already about that level of hinged as it stands. Still DRX going now on their reset. should be that D Plus can gather themselves some vision back. I think that is a Rift Scuttler that has been picked up for DRX though, so that will give them some vision that is somewhat irremovable.
Polbey is doing a really good job at being very annoying. I always appreciate that in split pushers. And this is the thing with the Cloud Soul, and I think Ocean might have done the same. I think D Plus is going to keep not really caring. They do need to do something though, so I would like them to at least try and force a TP, make a play towards this Baron. Can't just give this up for free. At the very least, you want to trade it for either a turret, or I would like this. Yep, let's go for it. Start it up, force the cooldowns from your opposing team.
Yep. Diving straight on top. Yeah, exactly. They are going to be able to take the Drake here, but they have confirmation that the jungler is nowhere near this area. Letter diving forward. Thumb is just tanking it. Gets the headbutt onto Satap to remove him from the area. In they go with the Rel, but it's not going to be enough still. Can they win the fight? Empress divide onto actually everyone. The entirety of the team gets locked up. The Azir grabs one of the kills as Doctom with a double, and now Polbey just trying to keep another one of these Barons alive, and Doctom says, nope, you ain't getting that. It's a triple for the Jinx. And DRX, they take the Cloud Drake, and then the Baron gets taken, question marks, win a fight, put themselves in a great position to win.
And as mentioned, this was going to be the breaking point, one way or the other, and it's DRX's way. I don't think they can necessarily end. Their death timers are pretty short, but they can get an inhib. They take away most of the Baron buffs, including the most important member, I think, Polbey, doesn't have it available. The Baron power play is going to be like minus 2,500 or close to it.
It's an impressive Baron power play from DRX.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at as the call here. Obviously, Fun is going to try and keep them away, and we're going to get rushed down the Baron and then have it end. But the damage isn't actually that high, right? They don't really have a great Baron taker. And then the combination here, Satap just 100% ready to go in and take them down. Nothing to be done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Doctom with the just insanity as well. She's like, yeah, no question. I'm hitting my zap. He's not sidestepping anything.
Flash zapping, man. Flash zapping, that is a next level of aggressiveness.
And it evened out the gold, but
dude, do you know what happened? Do you know what the result of this was? Doctom went back home and purchased a full Lord Doms.
Yeah. So it's challengers, so it's never truly over. But if you're a D Plus fan, I wouldn't get my hopes up on this one.
Yeah. I would say the DRX are in a pretty good position moving further forward. Having a look at the team compositions as well. I mean, you layer everything on top, and DRX playing this out from this point just feels amazing with a team fight composition like this. 2 Cloud Drakes as well. I mean, I think that the biggest issue here for D+, and it's going to sound like I'm being facetious, but giving away 2 Cloud Drakes, like, you just can't do it.
Sure.
You got to actually get that soul, get that unlocked, because if they did prioritize that, they'd have the Cloud Soul. They'd be just zooming around this map. They can get towards a Baron Pit way faster than DRX. They see this. Oh, they see Doctom and Fletter in the bottom lane.
It's like a lucid, super long con, but they're not falling for it. So, not a whole lot is going to happen here.
Yeah, this
you have to try and go for like a complete Hail Mary. 3v3 here could work if you can isolate the Jinx immediately. We'll see. Yeah. Should be suspicious with, yeah, they're just going to ward it. Should be suspicious that if they actually try to contest it. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. And, man, D+, you know, depending on how you want to frame it, either plummeting further into the depths or losing to a DRX that just look awesome.
They do. I think there's a bit of both. Column A, column B. I don't know how much of each column is on display here. But, I mean, that's up for you guys to decide. I think D+ have definitely looked better in previous weeks, but this is DRX coming into form exactly when it counts. They haven't lost with Doctom on the roster.
There is no way.
No, surely not.
No.
He's even waiting. He's even waiting for the optimal threat to walk past.
Yeah, but they feel so safe. They feel so safe. If he gets the kick on Doctom, they can win the game.
Lucid, still unseen, is just going to back away. Man, that was so close.
It was so tense.
Woo! Okay, so we are going to have D+ able to find a setup somewhere else. Denying Cloud Soul point. Going to be where they're at next. 28 seconds left.
You need to kill Satep or Dogdom immediately. It's the only way you can win any of these fights, because DRX actually do struggle with taking down the enemy if they lose even one of their damage dealers. I think is a big deal. I just don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you get all the CC down. Thanatos is going to have to show some absolute heroics.
Yeah, there's that, or there's Poolbay has to find a pick on a backline. Lucid has to get a kick onto Satab before the fight even really started. Like, Satab has a lot of damage. He's now over the wall here as well, as we can see. They scry, that is going to be free. Oh, soul point.
So what I really like is how safe DRX is playing this. Like, the way they're positioning, the way that they're setting up, they're really not allowing D+ to really have any angle to cancel.
And now when they find the angle, they just go in from downtown with Sponge, and Doctom's the one that's able to lock down the kill with a super mega... No, it wasn't even a super... That was just a zap over the wall. Just pre-planned and executed, and I love just the decisiveness. Like you were saying, they were playing pretty slow, right? And then as soon as the trigger needs to be pulled, Pletter's like, we're going in. Yeah. I'm flashing the wall, we're getting him, we're killing him right here.
It's really good play from DRX. You see as well, Lucid just trying. He just didn't see the Sand Soldier. Oh, Lucid. Not having his best day here. Gets 100-0. Not a lot of counterplay to that one, unfortunately. And this is looking silly, but like he has to try something, right? The window for your comp is passed. You didn't execute the early the way you needed to. And now I think Fum might be fine, but has to use double summoners. And things are slowly falling apart here. And unless we get some kind of crazy base race scenario, I don't think D+ is coming out ahead on this one.
They're a myth, Chronicler. Crazy base race scenarios
never
don't happen
especially
in
not
League
in
of
challengers.
No,
You're right.
Don't be ridiculous.
Remember X-Pac. How many viewers do you think we have that actually saw the X-Pac gameplay happen?
Ooh, live?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know.
Not a lot. I watched it live.
I did too. Were you actually there in the building?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Okay, I was on Twitch when
I was a student, so I don't think I would have been able to. Maybe even high school?
I was a student at that time as well, actually.
Why is gold still even? Just because the side of Dominant built up some pretty substantial CS leads, most notably in mid.
Yep.
And they also picked up a Baron, which even though it didn't lead to more global gold, is still a pretty sizable bounty.
And they had a lead early on in the game as well.
Man.
It's just that DRX have... oh man, he is on this mission once again.
They're so diligent as well. Like, they know. They know that this is the one angle with which they lose the game. Outside of other really big individual mistakes. Like,
and they also probably know that Lucid is prone to doing this.
There he is,
finding these angles.
again. See the pings come down.
Oh, Doctom's in the mid lane. This is actually really dangerous. Poolbay wants to find the chain, doesn't get there to proc
that's
the
an Ashe
Sigil of
angle.
Malice.
They're going to start it. This might be your only shot, D+.
All right, and Poolbay looks continuing to be frustrating here as Pletcher takes a lot of damage. Sponge in the area, Satab getting the setup as Poolbay has to get out of there. And the Phalanx is reset. Doctom is pretty low, and Poolbay, he's hunting for him, wants to find the angle once again. Cloud Rift actually helping Doctom get all that movement speed, wandering himself out of the way. And Poolbay is so frustrating. Thumb also, he's having to eat the honey fruit, but he does have that. There's the kickback. As they find Satab, they just destroy him. And Poolbay on the backside of the fight is going to take down the support. Lucid gets in there, but it's Frog that's trying to make this one happen. But now the Baron gets involved, and it's Thanatos that just dominuses and takes down the Shuriman gentleman. And D+, they found yet another Baron. This time, it comes with a team fight.
I take it back. Shit's broken. I'm convinced. It's fine. Okay, Poolbay was right. We were wrong.
Maybe actually Ashe is broken. I don't know. Rahel actually doing a fair bit of damage in that fight.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying earlier. If the Ashe actually goes unmatched, your DPS is insane. It's just the burst doesn't compare to any other AD carry. But looking in this fight, it is so split up. And this is, I think, the one scenario where D+ can actually win. This is not a 5v5. This is a 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 all at the same time with no Duck Dumb. Like, the way the Pula plays that as well, right? Actually able to go in, get the maximum damage out, then make his way back, assassinating the Rel, denying Duck Dumb access.
And this is, we actually said, like, oh, these are the crazy ways that D+ can do it. One of those ways is find Satab before he can do anything and kill him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Lucid did.
Yeah.
Man, this is this is like the beginning of this series. If you were to tell me that this was actually going to be the most exciting matches that we've had in Challenger so far this season, I would have laughed you out of the room.
What I love is that it's also, it feels like the advantages are earned. Like DRX had a good play at Baron, which is why they got the kills. D+ set up that whole sequence themselves. It's always going to be contested here. We do have a lot of vision behind them. Pleta is at the ready.
That scry was absolutely fantastic. Pleta is going to find a crash down as Pulvey is just smacked around. He gets himself out though. What the heck? Goes back to his original distortion. What? Okay,
He's
well,
fine.
Now D+ are looking to try and deny this. They do manage to do it 3 dragons apiece, and now everyone's in the bouncy castle. Who's actually winning this? Once again, it's Satab going down. And this Ashe is just starting to do so much work. Still, gonna be taken down in the end as the Cassante comes on in. Thumb now trying to run it out, but Doctom is now dead. And Pulvey is at full health. Thumb wanders back in. Look at this. The cow putting himself back in the pen. It's a double for Pulvey. That should be almost an ace and possibly the end of the game.
Thumb did so well in that fight. He was able to knock away Doctom so he couldn't actually deal any damage. And as mentioned, the DRX comp, they don't have a lot of damage. They have 2 threats. Satab was in the middle of many enemies, so he wasn't actually able to get that much going. And then, I hope we get a replay, because Doctom, first he got knocked away by Thumb, and then subsequently, when he went for the ult and tried to get excited over Thumb, the stopwatch
Oh no,
hit.
backdoor bonus. Frog is able to deny this for a moment.
Wait.
Now looking to get back towards the minion wave.
It's not done!
Yeah, teleports are coming in, and Satab will be able to at least get the GA. Oh no! Yeah, Pulvey gets himself out.
Okay, but
And there's no Baron left remaining. It was a good power play this time, but now it's the man advantage for DRX as, oh, we've done this dance before, and I don't know whether I'm ready for another.
So the main issue for me is that now there is an open pathway to the Nexus. As we have already seen, that is kind of the weakness. But they're just going to try and end.
Yeah, they're just going to wander up this mid lane. Lucid now looking for an angle.
Thanatos is, I can't quite see how many seconds. I don't think they have time. It's too early still. We're 36 minutes in. I don't know. Actually, it's 27 seconds. Fun should be up, but this is a 4 versus 5.
Yep, still looking for the angle here as DRX is getting closed in on Lucid. He does have the kick available, but the all-out comes through. Over the wall goes Lucid though, and now there's just no tank. He just gets on top of Doctom. He's kicked under the turret, and Doctom is now burning. The ashes go. Oh my God, Pulvey, the shiv of all things. Still, the LeBlanc's gonna go down, but that is gonna buy enough space. And Chronicler, I think maybe we just wait for the next Cloud Drake. Maybe we fight over that. Oh my goodness.
So now D+ win?
No. Now a Nexus may explode, okay, Chronicler? A Nexus may die. Maybe 2. Maybe actually this is the rare case where 2 Nexuses both, they just both die.
Can they protect the wave? Can Frog clear the wave here in time?
Well, we're not
They
sure.
don't actually have everyone. I don't think they can end. I don't think they can end.
Oh, no. This is not ending. No. That's not what we do here. Not right now. As Thanatos does get seen by those minions. Yes. Please just, hold your horses.
So, D+, the long bamboozle where they actually do end up getting the Cloud Soul is looking more and more likely.
Dude, do you know what? Like, I'm still baffled by the fact that Pulvey just got a double kill with a Shiv.
Yeah.
and it was Shiv damage that just killed a Jinx.
This is probably my favorite game of 100% my favorite series of challengers.
Oh yeah,
this year. This is incredible. As we take another look here, like Thumb again doing a lot of heavy lifting. Poolbay goes so low. With Luce, it does so much damage to Dokkan here that look at this.
The auto onto Sponge that kills him and the Jinx.
The only reason he dies is because there was an Azir turret there. That's what hit him. And now, Poolbay is going to perma try and shove this bot side out. I don't know if he actually will be able to, and he really needs to respect 25 seconds until the Baron is going to be up.
He's got 6 items. This is a very, very fed LeBlanc. And all the nerfs to the Shiv don't really matter now.
Double GA is down though here for D+. That's quite big. And they weren't able to really use them. Like Lucid got it popped in the defense, that was okay. But then Thanatos obviously just gave it up.
That was a whoopsie one, yeah.
That said though, Poolbay I think is winning the 1v1 now, it looks like.
I mean, yeah.
Pretty substantially.
The fact that Satab was just limping away from him there probably gives us a few ideas. He's also an entire full item behind.
Oh. Don't want Thumb to get caught as Poolbay going in.
Oh, there's the Mimic Distortion as he just snaps back. Crash down, not something he needs to worry about.
Baron is up.
Lucid
Drake is
back
there.
On another mission. This time he's going to be spotted on quite a few wards.
Should know as well. We see some pings going down. And Ashe at this point, Kraken Slayer done as well. There should be enough damage. D+, if they play this perfectly, should have an advantage here. They have a winning side lane. All they need to do is make sure that they actually leverage that. DRX can never go for an Ashe. Lada gonna try and threaten. And yeah, you have the side lane pressure. D+. Is the disengage good enough though? DRX can really easily force a fight. And this is, look, again, you start it up, force them to come in.
Well, this is the problem.
You make your way.
I mean, he's just marching back and forth from the fountain, trying to get his health back up again. That was one Shiv prop. And
this time, though, is fine for now. And they need vision here, because they need to know where Plata is going. And I think you now just go for Dragon.
Yeah.
That is fairly low risk here.
And that is Soul as well. You can just, you could send Poolbay over there just to grab that himself, but...
If you wait long enough, GAs are going to be up for D+ again. And then, like, Thanatos and Lucid go in really hard. There's also no GA for Dokkan. We'll see if that's going to be a difference maker as Thanatos.
Yeah.
A little scary here, but Poolbay, again, drawing the attention away, gets caught.
There is a flash that has to be used. He gets pulled back and he just explodes. That is Cloud Soul, but now it's 5 versus 4. Lucid has to get out. Emperor's Divide is going to be used here. Kick flash the arrow! Both mid laners are now dead, but Lucid's going to go down as well. His GA would have been about 2 seconds until it was available, but they lose the jungler, so another advantage for DRX here.
So they only have Dokkan. If they can somehow get on top of Dokkan.
14 seconds on the inhib. 14 seconds on the inhib.
Thanatos have GA. Can they keep Rahel alive? There are 2 Nexus turrets here.
Rahel does a lot of damage. He should be able to get rid of this minion wave at least, as Thanatos is going to get kicked back with the Q, as there goes the shield, and now the inhib's going to respawn. They take down the K'Sante, and Sponge has to get home. It continues.
It doesn't stop. We're not done. Oh, the flank.
Okay.
Wait!
Is this the angle, though? Is this what you're looking for? As Rahel is free hitting right now, so is Dokkan, though. They flash in. Thumb doesn't quite get it. And now it's Rahel. He finds the triple. Thumb makes the time, and Rahel makes the damage. And now D+ are going to march up that mid lane and take themselves a victory. There are no minions, but I think they will eventually get... No, wait, actually, no. What happens is they march up the mid lane and Satab, he ults all 3 of them, kills everyone.
Yes, of course. We can't be done. This game cannot be over.
It cannot end.
I'm not ready.
We need at least 4.5 minutes. I want an Elder fight. I need an Elder fight.
Well, where's the fight? Where's the Baron? Oh, it's 30 seconds on Dokkan. I think they've done it.
I think they've done it as well.
I think they've done it.
We'll see.
Oh my God!
Satab is going to put up a makeshift turret, but Thanatos is going to dive on top of him. Emperor's Divide is going to connect. He eliminates the Ashe, but they are just rushing this base, and Poolbay is going to be able to do it. Once again, it's a game of inches, but D+ will be able to get the last shot. What a series, my God!
If we don't get a rematch of this in playoffs, I will be so sad because
I mean, if this is what we're getting from these two, like Humble Life Esports is like they're in that mix as well, man. Like, whoo,
okay,
the top
so
few teams here in Challenger are so fun.
I want to go. I want to go for Rahel because that was effectively that was a 1v3. Like by the time the crocodile arrived, it didn't matter anymore.
I have no idea who to vote for.
No, I think Poolbay or even Lucid. Like so this to me is the do it. This is the one part where
I think I have to give it to Lucid.
no, it's fine. You can go for anyone, literally, like literally anyone on D++. But the specific, the snap decision making of Lucid to recognize, again, if they have 2 carries, you lose the game. So he goes in, gives his own life, kicks Satap in just so that Rahel can finish him.
Yeah.
Like that's a game-winning play. Poolbay with his double shiv kill. Game winning. A lot of thumbs engages as the sole front line. After
even that last one.
Just being called up from Academy, being put in a base race against one of the best teams in Challengers again, and an actual Worlds semi-finalist just comes in on the cow. And then the fact that in the end, it's the Ashe 1v3. It's not it's, you know, there was a little bit of crocodile, a little bit of cow, but
it was still an incredibly intense match. Like, my God.
What a series.
Like, you go back to game number 1, and it was like
a blowout.
It was a snooze fest of a DRX destruction.
And it's still the best series that I think
we've
crossed. With like, think back
how
to
do you
how
have
bad
these 2 games, these last 2 games, like back to back? It's absurd.
Think back to how bad game 1 was, and then this is as a series on average still the best.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I also like, I can't believe that now that Static Shiv has got nerfed, we see the best game of Static Shiv over the last 2 weeks.
Chat, yeah, I agree. Chat is right. Actually, Doctum didn't make quarters because
he's a quarter.
It was Gen.G D+ in quarters. Thank you very much, keeping us accountable. That's a good point. You know, he's only a Worlds quarterfinalist, so
he only made it to Game 5 in the Worlds quarters. Yeah.
No, we're not being sassy to you, chatter. Don't worry, man. That was actually the best game of Static LeBlanc since the Showmaker Hextech one that we've seen. Woo! 9 games, they chat. Well, you know, yeah.
I think this is the deserved vote, but honestly, you can just spray votes around.
You can,
and you're pretty happy with it. Poolbay making the Static Shiv LeBlanc work on this patch in this game 3 after the most intense game 2. Like. And he fed First Blood solo.
I know. I'm trying. The one thing that over like the last year and a half to me has been the most impressive about this D+ roster is that I don't think that outside of some moments DRX, Satap comes to mind as well, these type of larger than life plays, you just don't see that often in Challengers, right? Very often it's like teams can be good, but it often gets zany, but it kind of follows a plan. And like the Lucid play, LeBlanc or Poolbay getting that double is just...
I mean, I think that like, the way that I'd say it isn't that it follows a plan normally. Oftentimes it doesn't follow a plan.
True.
It doesn't follow, like, what it doesn't normally do is follow insane plans like we've seen work out multiple different ways and be countered multiple different ways in this one series in the last 2 games alone. It is just nutty. And none of these stats matter, right? Like Poolbay's damage, like all of the things.
Who cares?
It's the clutch moments. It's being in that bottom lane when he needed to, getting the split push to actually work out, never overextending down there. And when he does, the rest of the team's ready to try and take the Baron off the back end of it and pounce on a single target like they were so capable of doing. Like this was really well played.
Like when it comes to like highlight clips, this series has a lot. You have the base race, right? Then you have the double shift kill. Then you have the Rahel moment, which of all carries. If you told me like, oh yeah, Hype or Lure pulls that off, or Smash, I'm like, yeah. But it's Rahel in the end, and...
Video games.
That was some video gaming. That was. I am hungry. I am hungry for more League of Legends, but also just the energy that we expected or expended watching that series feels like a lot.
But do you know what? We're not even up to the main course yet. Because we have Live, Sandbox, and Bro coming up after a short break.
And if you thought that this was the peak of what Challengers has to offer you, you were right. But there was another. There was another peak, a different. I want to say dimension to Challengers. That
How
we're
do you
about to
define
witness.
a peak? You know, is
You
it
can't.
based on the entertainment value? Is it based on the champions that are there? Is it based on the quality of the League of Legends? Or is it just based on,
We're just gonna watch.
okay, man, bro?
We're gonna watch Raptor and Vincenzo smash their ass against each other. We're gonna see Ivory and Goody be like,
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of dance that I'm here for. That's the kind of dance. I'm like,
who is favored? That's not the right question to ask.
sometimes you can be at home playing Diablo 4, or you can be here watching Diablo floor the viewers with exceptional play. That's what I'm here for.
I had like half a day off, and I'm still completely losing it yesterday. I think I was it would have been okay if not for the POX day. That just brought me immediately back on the level.
Well, also we're 6 games down. Sometimes you'd be ending a broadcast at this point saying, "Man, it was a long day."
You know?
And other times you'd be waiting for the next 3 game series.
You know, in many regions, people just cast the first series and are like, "Well, good luck to the next shift. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you. We're going to take a well-deserved break." And they'd be right, because casting is exhausting.
Unless
Unless
you have the bros
Bro
to
and
look
Brew,
forward to.
Plan B and the boys.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. My plan B is definitely playing Diablo. And my plan A
Is watching
is
Diablo.
watching Diablo.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
I think that's how it all works.
Um,
Maybe if the nerfs hadn't have been as bad on this patch in Diablo, it would be a different story. But
I've mainly been playing Arena, the League of Legends variety.
so what I've been doing is I've been watching Valdez and you play Arena on stream whilst playing Diablo.
Which
That's what
sounds
I've
like the
been doing.
best of both worlds.
Or I'm playing TFT. I need to explain to everyone about my TFT comp that I got. Oh my god.
I don't understand it at all, but please explain.
I only play Earth because I only want to high roll. I don't see the value of winning if I haven't just high rolled a stupid comp that has like every single trait in it. I went 4 Freljord, 6 Zorn with a robotic arm Zeri with perfect items. That was the comp was revolting. Nice. I also had the thing that gives you like giga attack speed on Urgot. Yeah. Anyway, it was very fun. The composition was just the most fun, and I had the best time. You always go Lee Sin reroll. Does Lee Sin exist?
Gwefanadolia missed the ending. Oh, you can't. You just go up, just go back and watch it. I don't.
Yeah, I would.
We can't explain this.
I mean, sometimes we feel bad about recommending YouTube, but I mean, Alexander's there to keep you company, and it is very worth going back and checking out.
It is.
9-game day incoming, Alexander, 100%.
Yeah. So please, chat. You need to give us something. We're running on fumes here. So please, we want to.
I can talk more about my TFT.
Or if you want to, yeah. No, be my guest.
Gave up on Zon because you kept getting your chem mods bugged and it wouldn't let you stack Zeri. Chem mods. I mean, that's the annoying part about it. Is it's kind of reminds me of admin from the last one, where it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. And so you can get it, and you get like 3 defensive ones, and you've got like a 3-star Jinx, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Sing us the Brover. What's the Brover song?
It's just the world song from last year, but it's Bro.
Star Walking, but it's Bro Walking. Yeah, that makes sense. How about so Korean Indomie is not as good as Indonesian Indomie, and I think that Indonesian Indomie to me is better than Korean Ramyeon, but Korean Ramyeon is better than Korean Indomie, if that makes sense.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's better to go to the place that designed
that actually designed the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I know. Riveting information.
Yeah. Am I still running a Poison Flurry build? I am. Using that to level at the moment. I think I perfected I made a video and then I re-perfected it, so I need to remake a video and I'll just include it once I've got to endgame.
Where's the Atlas
I'll make another
gun
one.
show? Tees for LCKs, but suits for CL. Yeah, for casting, it's always suits.
Yeah.
I think the polo was really appreciated.
That's the first time I haven't like actually jacketed for quite some time.
Are all the casters married? Some are engaged.
Yeah, we're getting there. I think all the casters are on the road to the marriage.
Yes.
That's how that one's working out.
As in, yeah, Indomie is a brand, but also it depends on where you get it, and there's like a million flavors and whatnot.
Blade is extremely strong. Destin Infinity. He's absolutely amazing. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I think the new people were saying that the new Star Rail update doesn't have enough content.
Okay, so what's your take? Because if you think it's enough, then it is enough, and people should stop complaining.
I actually do think it's enough, mainly because we recently had a new event added, and
you heard it here first, folks.
There was extra stuff. I enjoyed the story quite a lot. I feel like the voice acting was great and stuff like that. I think that the story maybe ended a little bit quickly for a lot of people, but there's a lot of like side content that was introduced as well. So I'm kind of down. Kafka Waiting Room, any truers? That's why you might be wanting more content if you are not pulling for Blade and you're waiting for Kafka. That can work. Bit more story though. Yeah. 1378, you're on it. You're absolutely on it.
Don't skip Blade. Wesley Snipes is awesome. Yeah, I do agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need to finish. I'm playing Paradise Killer, which is a really weird game. It's like a detective game, first person. You're on an island and you need to like solve this mystery. But it's in space, kind of, and there's like dimensions and ghosts and stuff. It's really, really weird.
So it's Mario Galaxy, but with detectives?
Kind of. It's hard to really explain.
How does gravity
You
work?
would love the soundtrack. I'll let you hear some of the songs in the break. It's like
Transistor?
No, it's like an 80 like jazz synthwave hybrid. Really good.
That's my genre.
Yeah, no, I know. You love that.
That be my genre.
And of course, I still need to finish not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. But I don't wanna, because I don't want it to be over. So I've just been sitting on like, because I'm not the guy that goes like 100%. I do all the side quests, and then like I do all the shrines, but like the Koroks are like exploring all the depths. I'm like, doesn't really matter. But I don't want it to be over. I don't want it to be done.
It is a bit sad.
Yeah, very much so. Coster in chat, what should I eat for lunch? I am hungry. I have nothing at home. We'll go shopping now. Can't go wrong. With I assume you're somewhere. I need to know kind of where you are. But what is always a safe bet is you go and you get some bread and cheese and tomato soup, and then you make a toasty, and then you eat that with the tomato soup, and it's really good.
That is
you can spice that up. How much like you can make the soup yourself. You know, you can get like different types of bread, different types of cheese.
He's in Germany, so
okay.
bread
that
and cheese,
great
idea, 100%.
100%, yeah, great bread in Germany.
Just eat
can
bread.
Make the bread, yeah, that's what I'd have to do here.
Just eat bread sounds fine.
And tomato soup is delicious, you know. And soup, there's just something special about soup.
We know your opinion of soup.
Deeply nourishing to the soul.
Okay. This is how we leave you. We are going to stop comment. We're going to stop comment about the soup.
Please,
whatever.